Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Downtime in the Hangar, where we talk about all things GBO2 and sometimes Tangent and GBO2 Salt. But anyway, guys, today I'm joined by Gustav the 13th
Yo.
and GamingEmblem.
The
salt is real. So anyway, how was your past week, Emblem? You wanna start?
But no, the battle operation, man, fuck. Good enough, I suppose, but man, things are getting scary. Been having way too many clown fiesta matches, man. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't help that you can literally be out of somebody's hitbox and get confirmed, which as usual ends up resulting in your death, or just all sorts of crazy stuff happening.
Well, put it this way, it's not good that you're getting body rocked right now, but it is relevant to what we're going to be talking about later today because of the changes. So
also,
there you go.
Crazy fan theory here. No, but for real though, I've seen a couple of posts about it too, where they're just like, "What's with this lag?" So either two tinfoil hat things. One's not really a tinfoil hat thing. I think it's more of probably the case. But tinfoil hat thing number one. During the anniversary, they were like, "Let's make sure everything works perfectly." Probably not that, but
that definitely didn't happen.
Because there was still some crazy
like
stuff.
A charm.
But the thing is, I think
that was actually not their fault. That was PSN having a bunch of errors in and of itself. Because recently, I think over either earlier this week or during the weekend, they had to put out an announcement that some of the errors and some of the wonky shit that was happening was because of PSN related errors.
Yeah.
So they had
interesting
to their customers. Which also means that it's not only affecting, the international client, but the JP stuff.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they probably wouldn't have apologized at all.
We would have wanted that in a planet too. Of how bullshit that match was, we still would have wanted that in a planet at the beginning of the game. Anyway, don't mind me.
But yeah, so the other crazy thing is with the servers and stuff is I think too we might have had a drop off already of players.
I could believe that.
Because since it's kind of the event was pretty much wrapping up anyway, most people had their stuff already done, and now we're technically after the event. I mean, we're only one day after the event, but people pretty much about 2 or 3 days ago have been complaining about the server issues. And especially today, I've been noticing them today. Like I said, I tackled and they got down swung.
Then it should be actually more stable, you would assume, right?
Well, it's a drop off of NA players. So the idea is
now so they're getting JP people.
Yeah, now you're actually getting more JP players now. So it's picking a JP host, and your games are just naturally worse because full on JP host.
Right.
Again, crazy fan theory. Maybe that's the case, but yeah,
it's probably not helping. I would be surprised.
I mean, I've been noticing a lot more lag. Like, not gonna lie, this morning I got up and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play some offline matches. Even though it's 6v6, I'm offline, training weights are off, let's flex. And I'm like, oh, the lag, what is... I hit you like 3 seconds ago, and now you're falling over.
JP. Help!
Yeah, so like that, like I said, the downswing thing that I was just telling you guys about with in space where I tackled, and then like afterwards the swing hit and I go wee.
So the interesting thing is, and this is something that I noticed during the anniversary, because they actually bothered to put out like at least a couple promotional videos, we actually were getting more people streaming internationally.
Oh yeah.
And like people I've never seen before, which was really cool. And I'm hoping, right, fingers crossed, that those people stick around and we get some more to like even out that fluctuation.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. For sure. But yeah, Emblem. What else you had going on this week?
Salt. The death of raids. And Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. More PSO2.
What's going on?
Usual.
PSO2 right
usual. I mean, nothing too crazy. It's still just follow up for chapter 4 coming out.
That was just a race for Genesis.
Pretty much. I mean, everyone's just holding their breath for new Genesis at this point. But I did make my weapon plus 35.
Ooh,
Hey.
nice.
Yeah, my damage like doubled. It's nice. I do like 60k on like full charge.
That's pretty hype.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's nice.
I wonder when they actually come out with the like rodeo boost plus or whatever it's called for the bazooka, the launcher. Once they do that, then I can actually then I've got a travel skill. I can just fly through the entire map and kill everything. Yes.
I'm pretty sure new Rocket Rodeo is already out.
Wait, it's already out? Oh wow, I need to get back in.
Maybe I know somebody was. I think Angela was doing some skill where you use a different ability.
Oh, that might just not have that.
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
just kind of crazy. You
I'm not
just
sure,
fly
friend
around
MLRS.
and then go somewhere else.
That's your buddy guy.
But
Oh, shit. So
yeah, anything else?
That's about it. I plus my weapon because there's an event going on.
just to get through it faster.
Well, no. It's literally for like buffing your gear. You get stuff for it.
Oh, that's
okay. Nice.
Oh, I want to
So I mean, it was something I needed to do anyway. So it's just one of those things where might as well.
Stop running, bitch.
So what about you, Gustav? How's your week been?
Stop telling this guy to stop running, bitch. No, I'm doing all right. The usual, we're getting deeper into the seed lore for cross rays.
Oh yeah.
So that's been pretty nice. Or no, I mean, put it this way, right? We got to go through seed and then a stray, and then 00 has a million like offshoots. So we got to do all those, and then we got to get through Iron Blooded Orphans after that, and then it's it. So, my wing fun times are over.
Same priority as the Mark II, man.
I love how it's like wing fun times.
Yeah, because that's shit at least that I know. Now I just gotta start guessing and like hoping that people are right about the tech trees they're asking for their suits.
That's funny.
Not to mention, I blew through a lot of time trying to get Asian his I think it was a Quanta from 00. He went through like a lot of shit, but now because he's got like twin GN drives and all this other crazy shit, he's like the OP guy. He's our clincher. Like when shit starts to go a little Ari, we just bring Asian out and he fucking cleans house.
There we go.
So that's been pretty helpful.
Our character one day, I believe.
Yeah, one day I'll be there when we're not in the middle of like a bajillion long hours scenario.
I know, right? Every time it's been like, okay, Gustav, I got 2 hours tonight. We're good, man.
It's not even like, oh man, we're halfway through. You can make it. It's like, no, we're like in the thick of it. They just dropped down another wave of enemies. We probably got like another couple hours to go.
And I'm like,
bruh.
Pretty much, I'm like, I got 2 hours this time. We're good. How long? Well,
then he fell asleep. Because I
think
think the last time I was calling for you too. It's just like, is Magnum still up? Bueller? It's like, no, he's asleep.
Oh man, I'm already out.
He done. But no, that's been pretty fun, and we're still doing GBO2 dailies every day. So, it's interesting because Iron Giant, someone who's actually been on the podcast before, is starting his Yakuza journey in preparation for Dragon. So it's been kind of check that out. I think considering that, I really wanted the extra remastered trilogy to be on PC, but I do have it on PS4. I might start 3 after this, just so that I can be a little bit further along. Especially since 3 is apparently a very divisive one for people. It was like a different producer had taken it up at that time and all this other stuff. So that'll be interesting to see for myself. There'll be a return to like some of the older systems that I wasn't even aware of back then, because by the time that 0 had happened, that system was even very different compared to the older Yakuza games. But that'll be in the future once we get through the eons worth of G generation.
But pretty hype.
Oh, also for anyone who saw earlier today, that Phantom stream, I figured out why it was looping that one part of that song too. So yesterday, after I had gotten off, I had killed everything right. I didn't kill one thing though, and it was my secondary recording. So I was trying to put my computer to sleep, and I'm laying down, and I was like, why is all my stuff still on? Everything is like glowing still. And like several attempts to shut it down later, I'm just like, what the fuck? I finally realized OBS is still on. But before then, I was like, are one of my keys sticking? Did I fuck up and already like gunk this shit up?
Oh no.
So I ran my hand across it. But because my speakers are off, it actually hit the hotkey not only for the music to start playing, but for the stream to start. So for like 3 minutes it was running, and then I finally got it on standby because I stopped that other recording. But when I boot my computer to start it up today, it was going for like half an hour, and because the music never stopped before it went to sleep, it was like looping a piece of it. Like even when I closed Spotify, it was on. I was like, oh my god, my shit is haunted. What the fuck happened? So I had to shut it down completely to like stop it. I was like, that's fucking weird.
That was
So
like,
thankfully that's all it was. But like I was in the shower, like, what the hell was that about? And I had to like slowly piece it together, like, oh, okay.
now it makes sense. There we go. Yeah, you were in the shower, like the math going out from the
Yeah,
that
just
meme.
fucking popping out of my head, like, what the fuck was that?
That's what it is.
It all made sense. But yeah, thankfully it wasn't anything like super weird.
What was it? The somebody took a screenshot of me when like my stream froze when I was trying to do Mobile Suit Gundam Online, and like my face was just like,
Oh.
because and like they posted that face when you accidentally pull out the power cord or something. But the thing is, it stuck like that, and then once everything started, my computer was off. I don't know how it was happening, but somehow, without a battery in the laptop and everything unplugged, and there was nothing on, I saw it streaming over there.
Oh.
And I was
Now that's ghosts.
And I was like, what? Oh no. Well, this is why we record, because my internet's deciding to die. But anyway, so yeah, if I accidentally disappear, you know what happened.
I say your call's holding up at the very least, so
yeah,
you're still good on our end.
But anyway, so like it somehow it was like streaming the title screen of MSGO with my face going, like the entire time, and it was live, and I could hear, like, I think it was it Aoshi? I think it was Aoshi who was in the chat, like, are you there or something? Like, I was like, how is he talking through my stream right now? There is literally no battery it's not even plugged in. It's not on. So I just messaged in chat on that computer over there. I'm like, I messaged Aoshi. I'm like, how are you doing that? How are you talking to me through stream?
Did he say something?
Yeah, like it was just, I clipped it too. I don't know if I clipped that part specifically with him talking, but I clipped that because it was just like, my laptop is literally dead right now, and somehow it's streaming something through the internet. Cool, whatever. We broke physics.
Unless it's just like your internal like actual like board battery.
Yeah, just had enough to like keep going, and then then I mean the battery's still laying over there, so I just have it plugged in now because the battery thing broke is what happened. So just the internal battery was just that little bit. But yeah, that was computers, man. Sometimes
the computers, am I right?
Yeah, like
got the computers.
Help, computer. But
actually play space.
But yeah, so
space. Why space?
My week pretty much. After you mentioned this, I've been studying.
Oh no.
We have the full guide.
Hey.
Yeah.
There.
Oh, there it is. I was like, my Kai doesn't have a double beam gun. What the hell's going on? I was just on the wrong weapon. Or
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. It's out now. Really hype. Finished Hades. Yeah.
Are you like done, or did you actually beat Hades?
I don't really beat Hades because it's not.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yet.
Like you just finished a run, right?
Yeah, I finally finished one run in hell mode, pretty much. Which, I mean, the game just gets
Gotcha.
easier from there. I've already done like 3 now. Pretty much, I got a upgrade for the bow, and it's just OP. Like, it is so overpowered. Um,
Mm,
but now that I've been playing on harder modes with that, though, I still can't get hit too many times. So it's like I've
right.
been playing on harder modes, so then I went to the sword and got one sword run done. And I'm like, okay, cool. But the thing is, I also had the difficulty way turned down for the sword because I'm just going on base hell mode. The thing that's kind
Yeah.
of interesting is hell mode actually is definitely hard mode because um, without going into anything that obviously you keep playing the game over. I mean, that's kind of
That's part of
most
the
people
loop.
know that, right? That's part of
So
the loop.
roguelike,
Yeah,
whichever one.
yeah, roguelite is what most people call it. So the thing is, when you get to that point, you want to build up some resources to upgrade things and make things stronger. So without going into what that is, spoiler territory. Um, yeah. Point being though, is each time you turn up the difficulty, which that's kind of the big gimmick now. Once you finally,
Mm,
beat it, you get a difficulty scaler thing that you can turn up as much as you want
right.
and make it, have enemies have 3 times the health or something. And so that's kind
Super.
of the so that's kind of the idea. And in this case though, if you turn hell mode on, one of the big things that it does to you, which this one's really kind of situational, but there are a couple of things that attack you where they hit you and then there's like an AoE that goes out of different projectiles. Well, the thing is, if they actually hit you with that, the
Mm.
projectiles also hit you. In
Oh,
normal difficulty, you don't have to turn that feature on, which is probably the last thing you're ever going to turn on, or one of the last things, maybe, I guess.
right.
But the thing is,
Don't
if
want to
one of
make the
those
game
hits,
harder.
huh?
I said you don't want to make the game harder.
I mean, the thing. Well, you kind of want to build up your resources if you want to keep, you know, getting stronger. But the thing is, they turn on 5 things automatically, and one of it's like more damage, more health, more speed, or whatever, more enemies, and then you don't get an iframe essentially after you take a hit. So you can get hit by 20 things at the exact same time, and instead of only like one thing hitting you, everything hits you. So some of those attacks that would only hit you once hit you like 10 times and one shot you. So that's kind of the extra gimmick, which I found out how powerful some of those attacks are on a couple of runs. So yeah, it automatically turns some of those things on, and you don't get the resources for steps 1 through 5 essentially, which is actually a lot of resources for every item. So yeah, hard mode is definitely hard mode. But once you get to a certain point, though, you get enough like extra bonuses and stuff. It kind of makes it pretty easy. And again, I could pretty much just use the bow now and
Mhm.
win.
Quoting
So
Magnum, hard is hard.
yeah, it's a pretty tough game. I like it. Um, last fight can get brutal, but yeah. But anyway, other than that, GBO2 stuff and things as usual. Uh, got opening up a weapon shop with all the weapons that I keep getting out of my pools, and yeah, usual stuff. But
Oh
oh
yeah.
yeah, played Black Widow from Marvel's Avengers. Kind of fun.
Side note,
Black Widow, Craigism.
Emblem, are you having a hard time with matchmaking, or are you like getting into matches?
No, my matches are coming pretty quick.
'Cause this second one's taking fucking forever.
Well, with that said, you're about in with the Dreissen game. You can start talking about the Dreissen.
Yeah, I sure got it. Wait. Also, other question. Didn't I thought I wasn't the only one that got it? Maybe I was. Oh no.
I think you were the only one who got it. I was trying one out.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a couple of trial spins, and I got a lot of 2-star stuff, but none of them were in Mobile Suit. But I did get an Ashmar.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, I know you were talking about that. That was pretty cool.
Donut time.
Donut.
Donut time. Okay,
Also
so
known as Time to Lose.
But yeah, so what are your
Just
first
for me,
thoughts,
though.
Gustav?
I will say that some people have been mentioning how this should pretty much be a raid. I kind of agree. I was a little surprised that it really only had one swing on its BMAX. It does have combo controller, but that's because you can switch it over to a heat saber for its other melee. And if you're really into just it being a very complicated dom, you can do that because it is a Scooty suit. The little heat fun, what the hell are these called? Tri-blades or whatever? I don't know why they call it that.
Yeah,
But they're essentially just homing funnels that explode. They're just like funnel missiles from like that other suit, but just a lot earlier. Also was not expecting the beam cannon to be actual beams. Because like I didn't look at it when I first started it up. I was like, that's gonna be like a regular like minigun or something. No. It's pretty much the same as the Jaeger. Except a little bit. I think it has like a longer burst on it. But it's smooth. It transitions between all of its weapons really well. The fact that the BMAX has an instant knockdown is very nice because especially in maps, when you're doing like say you're 600, you're under cost on like a 650. Dealing with Keyblades when you can just knock them on their ass, very nice. You just have a little bit of reprieve for them having to like spam their funnels and shit all the time. So
Yeah.
this is a good suit for that sort of thing. Very bullyish. You'll be surprised at what you can actually finagle those on tri-blades to actually hit because they track on your cursor. Do be mindful that they don't go very far though. It feels like they do, but that's because of the traversal speed.
If you aim up, do they go up or do they only fall?
Well, let's see. Woo! Oh yeah, they go up.
Yeah,
Okay.
You can make them fling right into the air if you want.
yeah, it's also a
Because
really
they're
tanky
being
suit.
propelled. They're being propelled, so it's not like they stop and like drop after a certain point.
I was really surprised at how much damage I was doing to it, compared to like a Cubulate with like say a GPO2.
Mhm.
I was hitting for not that much damage.
Yeah, and then I put beam resist 5 on this bitch. So like most things that would normally like body me in other suits, just like not this time.
Not today.
Which is also interesting because like its main weapon being strictly this bazooka means that you have 2 different ballistic options between this and the homing blades or whatever. So in a cost range that typically leans very much on that beam resist, you are pretty much the antithesis of that. Especially since it's a suit that's urging you to knock people over with your melee as well. So it's almost like it was just kind of meant to shake that up a little bit. As to whether or not it will consistently going forward, we don't know that yet. It's literally like day 2.
I mean, again, it seems like one of those things like there's going to be probably some crazy player that will just take advantage of the like tri blades and how the suit plays with how tanky it is and stuff and do some crazy nonsense.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's got the cool factor. That's what I've
It
been
really
saying.
does.
I've been like, you got the cool factor. I kind of want it, but it's kind of a bit. I don't know. It kind of feels a little mediocre to me going against it. Even going against it as a raid, it still didn't seem to do
Yeah.
too much.
Like it's interesting, but it's ultimately still a grunt suit. And Dreissen is not like a super specialty dealio. It's just like a suit that got brought out during that era to try to keep up with all the ridiculous shit.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, it's really the gimmick with the tri-blades. Like, again, there's probably gonna be someone out there that pulls some crazy nonsense off with it, but it's always cool to actually hit with those. I will say though, if you need to like knock over somebody real quick, it's always nice to have a suit that can do that. That was one thing that was really powerful with like the free DS.
Yeah, it's interesting to have that at this cost too. So.
Yeah. So I wonder if that'll actually play into anything.
I like the high speed. to me.
Yeah, or that. There you go. Yeah, that's a lot more accurate.
High speed, but one less swing.
Doesn't it? Well, okay, one more swing, but if you're using the other thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if you hit with both of them, the damage is insane. So it's definitely comparable in that regard.
I found it really hard to hit both of them, even on like a GBO2.
Yeah, Ark was saying last night it was kind of awkward with the way the swing works, but I haven't really seen a good shot of it yet, besides the videos and such.
The neutral's a little stumpy. It's not. It doesn't feel as fast as a high speed. It probably is, or maybe just because of its size.
Maybe.
But the downswing itself is more like the GH, and the side swings don't go all the way out to the side, which is strange. Just kind of like just up, like over and then down.
Yeah, I just saw that. Weird.
Oh shit! High mega
I wanted
cannon.
to click.
No.
I wanted to click raid to get to the list of raid suits to look up this one. There's ground specialization.
Yeah, which is neat.
What's its
Did you already go for the stats?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm kind of curious if weapons are first. If the stats are first, then go over those. But I was kind of curious what the stagger ratio for that beam is, because I know you can't stagger.
I think it
by
just doesn't
shooting by
exist.
itself. Yeah.
I looked at it, but I can't remember. We'll get to it though. You're right. Yeah, but stats are first.
Okay.
So it's a base 550. At level 1, it has 21,000 HP. It gets 1,000 more, so 22,000 level 2.
By the way, real quick, that is insane. First
that is a lot of health.
Not only does it have a lot of health, but it is tanky. Anyway.
Yeah, and just to like add on to that last comment about it being tanky, it has 25 live ammo defense, so missiles, Vulcans, 27 for level 2. Exact same for beam resistance, 25, 27 respectively. The melee correction or defense is 20 for the base level, so it has less melee resistance. 22 at level 2. And as far as its attack stats go, it has a 27 base for range damage correction, or modifier. 27, 29 at level 2. Melee is 32 and 35 at level 2. The base speed is 140. Boosting speed is 215. It defaults with 65 thrust. It has a turn speed of 75 on the ground, 69 in space. What's the melee priority?
Pretty sure it's 2.
I can't believe it wasn't 3.
Yeah.
Like
Well, you know what it is too, because it has the instant knockdown. So I don't know why they thought, but they tried to balance it, even though there's other suits that have 3 at this cost as a general.
Yep.
And by that I mean 2. Everything else that's been introduced hasn't actually. Keyblade has 2.
Your question. You can keep talking. I was looking.
Yeah, the double Zeta has 2. So all the newer big stuff really does it.
6% per shot, Magnum.
Okay, well, it exists.
It sure is a thing. It does a lot of good burst down damage. Like I've known for certain suits. So it's not useless. It just doesn't do as much as we would hope.
Yeah. Like if you have some people working together, it's not bad. Like if you
if you got a Keyblade around, like you're good.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's just insult to injury. They get staggered while being burst down by the funnels, and it's just like, God, end me now.
No, I was gonna do war crimes.
Yeah. Get out of here. Get out of here. No. It's like putting out a cigarette. Don't worry about it.
Oh no. Oof. But yeah, those Tri-Blades junk pretty well too.
Get back. Knockdown.
Yeah, see that knockdown's kind of nice if you need to get away from something too.
It's really good just to be able to shut them down for stuff like that.
Hey, look at that.
I should probably move that out of the way of the thing. I'm sorry. I
No,
didn't
no,
think
no.
about that. Hold on. I can do that real
No,
quick.
that's fine.
The
That's fine. You're
tri-blades
good.
have a stagger value of 10, by the way, per blade.
There we go.
Ooh, really? So they
Yeah,
cause a stagger
that's
and they
good.
have the. That's not bad.
Yeah.
So you can almost bazooka stagger. I mean, like
Well, yeah, the bazooka definitely does.
just kind of wondering what you could do for maneuver armor though. Kind of my question.
Oh, then probably the blades.
Whack them.
The blades are a good thwacking.
Well, you don't really have a good option. The little beam thing is too weak. You're talking 30% tops if you hit with all the blades.
Yeah.
No, this is raw damage and like pressure more often than not. You can hit
they might set the
consecutively
DPS
with those blades or whatever, and those tend to stun. I think because they're consecutive too, because they count as individuals, it might be alright.
Yeah, that's a good point because they'll probably work like the multi rockets.
So if
So
something is running you down, just throw those out.
yeah, that's a good point.
Give him a good thwack with that, and then just smack him upside the head with the tomahawk. I have yet to see someone go saber, but I'm assuming people that are just more used to the motions. Well, someone might eventually.
They want to use their fancy shiny weapon too. I'm sure.
What's the damage
since
on the
it's
weapon?
brand- It is 2400. Cooldown
that
of
downswing.
2.5 per swing.
If you can hit with the downswing, then you'd probably just want to downswing with that thing.
315 on the cannon and 1050 per on the tri-blade ballistic.
Really nice.
As we were talking about earlier.
They have a good reload speed.
Yeah. Yeah, I got anti-beam armor 5 on this thing
Oh,
just
yeah.
because it can put it on there.
What's its skills?
Check your skills. Okay. So emergency evasion system, special luck buffer level 2. Keep in mind this is the I don't know if anything changes between the level 1 and 2 for these. Probably not, or at least not that much. Enhanced tackle 4 is something that someone pointed out yesterday though.
That's kinda interesting.
95% to attack and plus 10% to distance covered. It's got high spec AMBEC, explosive reactive armor, maneuver armor level 1, melee controller level 1, force injector, high performance balancer, anti-blast stabilizer, and special luck buffer.
Yeah, it's got the defensive skills. Well, like this thing is pretty tanky for. I mean,
It's got to withstand a lot of the bullshit that just gets thrown around at this
yeah. I
cost
mean,
range.
that's again kind of like what you said. Was it's a grunt suit inevitably, and it's. I mean, it's kind of
It's a
big,
good suit
dumb.
built in mind with like all the technological advances of the age. Like, how the hell is a Hyzak or like any of this other stuff supposed to deal with like your average like bullshit suit that shows up in those conflicts? Well, it doesn't. The answer is you just make a Dreissen and hope for the best.
Pretty much. Or in space, you just make a Psycho Zaku.
Oh my god.
Is now actually like the Psycho Zaku, and I wish the Full Armor Thunderbolt was,
Yeah.
salt.
So
But ooh, and we'll talk about the Zero Shiki here at some point. I saw that there. Nice.
yeah.
But yeah. Any other thoughts on the Dreissen?
It's weird that it has a raid package, but they made it a general. Kind of makes me wonder if BB Studios has to meet some kind of quota or something like that. Because I mean, if it looks like a raid, it smells like a raid, and has skills like a raid, it must be a general.
You know, like the Mark III, if it looks like a support, skills and weapons like a support, it also must be a general.
Well, it makes me a little curious, especially since we just got the A1. I wonder what the data for that's been. And it's also really weird that we've seen a lot of double A1 teams like this.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't see them effective. Like, they're getting clapped out there still.
I've been winning with it. but
Which one?
the A1 steak sauce.
Oh, I
I
gotcha.
think costs
Yeah, I mean, I'm running into the same problem I run with all of the raids. Like, I tried building it tanky, and I mean, you just get melted as fast as you do normally. Like, it
What are
doesn't
you running
seem
on
like
it?
to me. I have a kit that puts me like, I think 3 to 4 off of max defense stats for everything but melee.
Yeah, I do.
But I
Health.
mean, it's a raid getting swarmed on by generals. I mean, you're not gonna be able to last.
It's all fun and games until you have to stop. You know, whether you're trying to stick a landing
Pretty
at
much.
the beginning or after you get your downswing in, it's just like so much is there to pick at you, and eventually they're gonna either get your legs or you're just gonna get knocked on your ass and like funneled down.
My tactic with the suit for the plus has just been distract and take up their time and stuff. So I run extra health, 50 melee, 50 beam res, and because anything ballistic, unless this thing is out there now.
Yeah, this thing is actually an anti A1 in a lot of respects too. That's the fucked up thing.
Yeah, kind of, and it's because it's really hard to stagger this thing because it also has move armor.
Instant knockdown. You can chase things with those fans or whatever.
But
They're
I
not
mean,
really fans, so I'm trying not to call them that, but you know, the tri-blades.
yeah. But I normally can just get in there, distract, maybe kill a support, but I can at least take up people's time long enough where my team can hopefully do something. And that's been
Ooh,
kind of
that's
the
not a good thing to play on.
yeah, I mean that's kind of the problem. So results may vary, but every now and then it's super effective. I mean that's kind of the strat that I use when I base cheese too, is I hopefully get one person on me and then I just, deal with that one person at the same time that I'm also base cheesing. In this
But that's a
case,
different guarantee. That's the enemy team and just hoping that they go after your ass.
yeah, so I mean at this point it's kind of like hoping that the enemy team's just bad and takes the time for me to, because I'll use up all my iframes. I normally can survive one. I will be almost. Sometimes I get one combo though, kind of like what you were saying, Emblem. But a lot of times I'll live with just like this much health, and then I'm able to run around and maybe hit one or two people, dodge roll once, and then, as a ditch effort to get away, sometimes I'll transform and do a barrel roll, and then like you yeet forever with that. So that's actually not that bad. But I mean that's been about the best thing I can do. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna switch my focus to boost and damage probably. Just get more time out of your flight mode. Especially since I added a new skill.
Well, actually, apparently that's no change. That's just they decided to separate it out as a skill because it was already built in.
I see.
So
Okay, to explain why the Hammurabi and the A1 were so much better at flying than literally everyone else in the game,
yeah,
except for
pretty
like
much.
maybe Ashramar.
Exactly. Yeah, it was just like
Gotcha.
here's why. We just had
Ta-da.
internal stats.
They need to just give that skill to every transformable suit in the game. It's
They really do.
kind of silly. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Including especially the Gaza at some point needs to get that as a buff. Like maybe once it hits the
yes.
gacha or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
For real. But yeah. Any last thoughts on the Dreissen?
Watch them do it for the D instead. Ugh.
Magnum, were we going to talk? I don't know if you ever posted what today's topics are going to be, but we're going to talk about at any point in time like why the Dreissen at 2-star has more.
Yeah,
well, I mean, I know
we were
why.
gonna bring up the
Because
2-star.
of its real. Okay, because of its canon kit and stuff, but
Yeah, that was gonna be right after the patch notes.
Rarity. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah,
then
well,
I'll touch on that later. Then go ahead.
And then
Yeah,
we'll also
2-star guys. Oh shit. I thought that was
What
really
was that?
crazy when we saw it.
yeah, the 2-star thing. But yeah, any other thoughts?
I like it.
That
It
doesn't
seems
seem
like
bad.
it has a chance to like shake up things at least a little bit. Hopefully we see more stuff like this going forward. It's definitely not, oh my god, crazy revolutionary, but I'm surprised that it's doing as well, especially at 650.
Yeah, I'm was kind of, I mean, again, like I said, it had cool factor. I'm curious to see what it does within a week or two, and if there's some crazy person out there that make this thing be insane. But again, I feel like
Also,
it's
don't back up so much when you let those loose. They come out of your back. You'll blow yourself up.
yeah, whoops. But yeah, I really hope that it doesn't just disappear in like
Oh god, yeah.
a
Side
week or two.
side character syndrome just disappears. Like, where was that one dude? I don't know.
Yeah, pretty
He's black,
much. But I feel
bitch.
like that's going to be the case. Ooh, that was a good downswing. But yeah,
That's
like
cool, though. It's like fudging it through the walls or like buildings.
but yeah, that's kind of my take on it. I feel like it with what we have out right now. I think everything kind of slightly outmaneuvers it and out weapons it.
Unless you mysteriously run into a grandpa Gundam, that's weird.
Yeah, there's that hits you with
Oh,
the like
why is he
spear
dunk?
a mile away.
That has a hammer.
Oh, okay.
Rude.
But yeah, Emblem. Your final thoughts?
It looks like it's pretty solid. I actually think it'd be in a really strong spot if they made it a raid, because like as a raid, it would have 2 stun options, an instant knockdown. If the pretty much would have like a technical version of the simplified rocket launcher that fires from your back and has remote control like rockets. Would be pretty cool. I mean, even in that regard, it'd still be kind of useful. We'll see. I think if
I feel like it would
anything,
have the same
the say
survivability.
again.
I don't know if it had the same survivability. Just like thinking about what I've been facing, even in this match, like it's been mostly generals, and if it's not like a general, it's like neutral damage.
Right.
Because that unit 5 and shit getting on my ass.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. I could see it doing a lot of damage to so you can bully the red. And I don't think having it on your team would be a bad thing. Just being able to hit with any type of attack and get the knockdown confirmed, and either do that follow up. I don't know if the double hit or the downswing can hit both swings on the same target if they're on the ground, but
Some of it's to control, but it's doable.
gotcha. I'm on 1 bar. What the heck?
Yeah, I was almost at like
Oof.
3 or like 2.
I mean, right now my stream died again, so maybe something's going on with internet today.
Yeah, I'll just say it's weird that they gave it a raids kit and it's a general. That's just my final take on it. Just seems kind of weird, man.
Definitely seems really raid. I mean, just looking at it in the thing, I was like, "Oh, cool! So we got a new raid finally." And then before I even actually looked, and then I was like, "Oh, the 550 general. What?" Okay, so the stuff that we got in the patch notes this time around. Okay, so talked about the Dreissen. Pretty cool. Put the Neo Xeon normal suit back in for the 10 pulls. We got, and I think this is pretty awesome. We got the level 2 Amrabi added. Now we got a 650 one of those. I think once those start hitting a lot of, I'm really curious to see what its health is, because that's kind of why I like the Zeta Plus, is it seems to have some decent survivability. But
I can tell you.
oh yeah, that's
Holy
right.
shit. By the way, that guy got first in that match. Holy shit.
My thoughts on we also got a level 5 Agzaku Command and a level 5 Peasant Dewage. Both of those are 600 cost. Personally, unless they have the stats to kind of back up that level up, I think the Agzaku Command and the Peasant are kind of starting to fall off specifically even at the 550 cost range.
Hmm.
It's 18,500, by the way, at level 2 Magnum.
Oh wow, okay. Well, that's I think that's 1,000.
It gets 1,500 more HP than the level 1, so
that's
it's
pretty
a
good.
nice increase.
Pretty good. That's pretty solid. Yeah, I'm curious to see how it does. Again, I feel like taking the 600 into 650 so far, it's just like, poof, I'm gone if I get hit. So
No, that'll happen to you regardless if you play a raid, so
Yeah.
at least you can potentially hurt something before you go.
I will say though, man, does it clap though? Oh man, after playing
Sure
the Zeta
does.
Plus, I'm just like, I'll just hit this thing with the Sea Serpent. 6K damage. What?
And he's on the knee. I can follow up. What?
What is? It's okay, cool. Yeah. So after it's like I can get comboed by their entire team once, and then maybe have one hit left, or I can insta kill their support. So yeah, that's again like either you have the glass cannon or the sort of kind of tanky, but again, it doesn't have the benefit of like the beam bazooka where you have literally a giant wall that you're worth 3 to 4 mobile suits worth of health. So that's another issue with the Zeta Plus is it does have a shield, but it's small and to the side.
Yeah.
But,
You gotta it's like shove it in people's faces. Shoot this, please. Shoot.
well, I mean that's literally what you do when you transform, and it's
Yep.
like shoot this, please, and knock me out of the air. Whoops.
Whee!
But yeah, so that was my
Okay.
biggest question with the Hammurabi. But what do you guys think about the level 2 and the level 5s?
It's good. I'm really surprised that we got another Hammurabi. That was a pleasant surprise, though.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to get that. Give that to me now.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. We needed another level of the Hammurabi. We needed something. We needed a good raid in 650 is what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
So I'm pretty stoked.
Okay, so let's talk about the salt minus.
Salt minus.
That's what the S stands for, right?
Minus.
Pretty much.
So yeah,
The great exodus has begun. The climb for Salt Minus is here.
yeah. So what do you guys think of this? I mean, I personally I think it's cool.
Mhm. It's definitely going to shift things around in terms of like the people you normally see in pubs.
For sure.
Hopefully, it awakens people from their 1,000-year-long nap in customs and they actually start playing with other people.
There we go. I like that it's a actual kind of like prestigious kind of thing that they're doing with it. The sense of you have
It's
to
got
play to keep it.
So here's the thing. That's cool. I think that's also the exact reason a lot of people, after they get it once, are never going to do it again. Like, because there's going to be a couple phases, right? They're going to get there. They're going to find out how much that decay rate is. And then they're going to find out how easy or hard it is to actually get back to it once they get there. The amount that you get as a bonus isn't enough for the effort. They're just never going to do it again. So I feel like that and its values and everything else needs to keep being in flux in order to make people keep doing it.
Yeah, like whatever the highest rank is should get like a bonus something. So like when they come out with S, then S will decay in the same way, and maybe all of S will do it. But
The easier thing to do would just be to not have the decay at all, but I get why they're trying to do it because they want people to be active.
yeah, they kind of want that
Lose and dies
prestige around it.
in terms of that too. So
I just wonder if this was a last minute thing they added or if it was a fully planned thing, because I know again it was one of those things that I pointed out when the anniversary was going on. It seemed like there was a lot of returning people, and you could tell that there was that guy who got to like high A or something or wherever and just was like, okay, there we go. And this was before A plus came out or something, and he was just like, I'm done. I've made it. That's all I gotta do. Quick match from here or something. They just didn't play for 5 months and then came back during the event. So I wonder if this is kind of an attempt to.
Yeah, I feel like S is a very common thing on JP games anyway, so I think that part was an inevitability. The
Yeah.
decay and the prestige part probably was something they were thinking about, though.
I do kind of wonder though. Like, I feel like I wonder why they didn't release it during the anniversary. You think they
Well-
thought it'd be too much?
They did say I've got it up here too. We're almost at the end of the 5 weeks. I hope you're ready to get the 3-star units everybody wanted. Blah blah blah. I didn't get Jubilee. Rah. The system can make it difficult to get all of the units. Blah. Yeah. Where's it at? As mentioned last year, the 3-year anniversary is going to be even more spectacular, even though I haven't discussed it with
Producer son or whatever. Essentially, whoever they gotta
producer
get in
yet.
touch with stuff. Which is interesting because that means that it might not be finalized yet either. That they're even gonna go to like round 3.
Let me share this month's update with you. Blah blah blah. Okay, there was. I thought they also said something else. Never mind.
Yeah, like the emphasis is that the anniversary was supposed to be for new players, and then this update is supposed to be for the veterans. Like that.
Yeah,
That was
like,
the
well,
big.
the major stuff and a lot of this stuff was actually supposed to be in the anniversary, is what I. But that was like the translated Japanese to Google Translate version, is what it kind of came out sounded like. So I don't know. Again, even in the translated version, it says you have to be instant level 1, not major level 1 for the suits they added. But yeah, get to that here in a second. But the from what it read from Google Translate, is it sounded like they were saying we wanted to put this stuff in the thing, but it wasn't all finalized. But yes, this was planned, and we were pretty much wanting to ship it out during the 5 weeks.
Hmm.
So yeah. And then they're also, the aquatic thing coming up. We'll talk about that here in a second. But yeah, S minus, it's in now. Begin your salt climb. Get to salt minus. Have fun. Don't accumulate too much salt while doing it.
No promises.
Mhm.
Hey man, I collect the salt of my enemies right here. Got my salt shaker ready.
Kind of weird, not gonna lie, but that's okay.
Good old toxic Magnum collecting salt from his enemies. How typical.
So, speaking of the major one thing, once you reach captain level 20, you can
Mhm.
go to major, yeah, which should have
Yay!
like a ticket reward and everything else with. Pretty cool. Did they do any tokens for any of the promotion stuff? I'm pretty sure they just did tickets and DP. Crazy. Because I haven't got promoted in a long time.
Any tokens.
Yeah, I think it was just tickets and like DP. But that's cool. Now the super grind is there, and actually I wanted to talk about this later, but we could add it right now. I want to just do a short take on it. My biggest thing is back on the other page here where they were talking about it. They wanted to add stuff for veteran players. So currently, it says about 13% of the players who logged in the last 30 days have reached rank of captain. Cool. About 9% of those players are captain level 19, waiting for something more.
Yep.
Okay. Well, with those numbers, I am part of that 9%. Guessing
Oh yeah.
you guys are too.
Yep.
How much DP do
For
you
sure.
have right now?
I have
After upgrading my suits, like 400, just at 400k.
Okay.
500, so almost 600.
I need all of these suits. How many suits have you modified fully?
Cubile.
Oh, like the unlockable ones
Yeah.
too? None.
And how much
I'm
DP are you at?
close to the
again?
cold districts. I'm at like
I've-
600 almost.
Okay.
The only suit that I need out of the 3 is the level 1 DJ, but I've already had the level 2 for a long time.
I need all of
I
them.
had it already.
Feels bad. But the thing is, those are top tier suits, which is really interesting that they would literally, in my opinion, that's the best raid and that's the best
The
support
bigger
at that cost.
philosophy that they're saying is that, again, it's going to be stuff that hasn't been in the RT shop yet either. So we're kind of getting shit early
Yeah.
for being at range.
So, okay, cool. Fair enough. People's putting in a lot of time. But 1.2 million for all 3? What? Okay, so I get it's not in the RT shop yet, so fair enough. But that's kind of crazy. But when you think of all the other amount of piece like spending that you need, and I fully upgraded the Dom Barrage. Built the Jonah, I think, who actually was like, "Why are you doing this?" Which is great. But yeah, so fully upgraded my level 3 Dom Barrage and my level 2. But that was all of my DP. Now I'm back up to like 150,000. I did not get to do the level 1, so I decided to get the shield on the MLRS. So yes, I've done 2 3-stars and the level 5 unlock at another 3-star. But that was pretty much all my DP from the event that I got. And that's with all the clan levels and everything else. So I do know, yes, there are some people, but I'd say they're probably like the 1% who have like 10 million DP and nothing else to do with it right now.
I
But
feel like it's because you literally bought nothing else, so you just had to play this game up like 3 times as much as any of us do who play every day.
and that's the other thing.
Oh,
Like
for
I
sure.
feel like we're well above the average on how much we play. I mean, given that we're also all at that 9% mark, we're less than 9% mark, then but that your rank is essentially the accumulation of DP because you get XP and DP pretty much at the same time, roughly at the same ratio. I forget which one's actually higher or if they are the same. But point being is you're gaining those at the same point. So you can measure how much DP someone has or has had based on, probably where they were hitting, what rank. And since less than 9% would have more DP than what I have, that feels really rough for most of the player base. Because that means I would have enough to do maybe one full bronze, one full or one star, one 2-star, and one 3-star. If I had done that rather than the two 3-stars and the level 5 unlock for a 3-star. That's kind of where my rant is. Now that we know this kind of number, it feels really bad for anybody trying to do those modification upgrades. And even if you're close to captain or just in captain, you definitely don't have anywhere near the same amount of DP. So back to a previous thing though, and this is where I kind of want you guys' opinion here specifically. I know Emblem, you said that with the boxes though, it should be kind of like a once every now and then thing, and I get that, but with what they've given out with this event, there's so many boxes. It's not even a once every now and then thing. You have enough to do like modification kit wise, maybe 3 to 6 of each, and like 10. I think I can do 10. It's either 10 silver or 10 bronze. That's what I've got. Something around there. So I don't know, that comment about once every now and then with how much they've given of the material, we just don't have enough DP to match that.
Nah, and I mean that's been a thing for the upgrades, let alone this bullshit anyway. So
Yeah. So
that's just something that needs to be changed in the system and the amounts that they give on average, if they ever do it. And they have a whole year to ruminate about it if they actually do get that year 3. So we'll see.
but yeah, what's your opinion now in Bloom, or is it still kind of the same, or
I don't know. If they're making the boxes less scarce, then they probably do need an increased amount of DP you're getting. Like, not even including the fact that they put out the extra stuff, but maybe even so much. I don't know. It's hard to say. Does it come down to like whether or not you need to prioritize pushing for those buffs or getting more solid suits added to your roster? I don't know. Because I mean, I'll say right now, I mean, before all this happened, I was one of the first ones that was throwing shade on the DP rewards. You know, like clan battle, stuff like that. I was like, "Woo, DP!" But you know, that was also at a time when the extra stuff in the hangar didn't exist, and I was just buying a bunch of mobile suit. Pretty much everything that's not a cosmetic, I bought it up out of the shop.
Right. We got
yeah.
nothing in there
So-
pretty much.
Yeah, and was still sitting on like over 1 million. So it's just like with stuff like that, I don't know. They probably do need to increase the DP output a little bit. Just because, you know, it was so hard to say at first because it was new and that was the first
Yeah.
instance of them giving it out. So you
Everything
know,
is very
now
timely.
it sets a better pace for it. And I think if they're going to keep up the precedent where they're going to be giving these out more regularly, then they should either lower the DP cost some so it's more easily available, or increase the amount of DP they give. Or maybe the expectation is that they want people to have to choose or budget their DP accordingly. Like I feel like it comes down to one of those three things.
Yeah, I like to kind of hear their like opinion on it too. But yeah, I was wondering if your opinion changed or what you were thinking on this, especially when I
I'll
started
lean.
looking at this.
Oh no. I'm just gonna say I'll still lean towards kind of my original opinion because I'm of the mindset that they're pretty much putting it on the community members to budget their DP. You know,
Well,
you
for these
can't
suits-
unless you're oh, go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry, but for these suits, I mean, these are top tier suits. So for them to have a high cost, I can sure, you know.
Yeah.
For high rank though, it's still kind of a bummer that you have to have a high rank, like the highest rank. So you have to play a shit ton to get there. But these are literally essentially the best suits, again, in my opinion, except for maybe the DJ. That's arguable. How good that one is. I mean, it's still top tier for sure, but you know, but like the detector and the striker custom, in my opinion, hands down the two like S tier level suits of 450. Like, much as I'm a Dom Barrage fan, I have to bow to the detector and how strong that suit is. That thing is gross. And with the striker custom as well, that thing is just one of the most overpowered things that I don't want to fight. So, yeah. So I mean, in that case, cool. They're releasing that. I mean, I'm gonna be happy when I get another 800,000 DP. And by the time I rank up to major, I'll probably have enough to actually afford that. But it was just kind of one of those bummer things though with the modification stuff, that it was during the event where you got double the XP or double the enhancement points, and it was just like, I can't afford but like 2 suits and barely a third.
No, I feel you though. It sucks when they release something new and you can't do anything with it, but I know everybody was kind of pretty much everybody's in that spot. Because I mean, unless you wailed for platinum right off the bat, you were kind of thirsty for those kits anyway, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and besides like bonus they gave you.
I mean, again though, even with the bonus that they gave, most people couldn't afford to even use the bonus stuff that they gave. This is kind of that's my issue. Like, it wasn't like, yeah. So,
But that
if
definitely
wasn't
wasn't in mind for new players. I'll say that.
I mean,
like,
I can agree with that.
Not implemented for new players to use it.
Yeah, it's definitely not a new player thing. In a new player sense, you might pick one suit and have that going and working toward that. And so for me doing the Dom Barrage, probably not the smartest thing to do. But you know, we here for the memes. We intensify. But the smart one would be if I had the gun cannon detector there. That would be fully upgraded because they gave it health and 5% damage. Like, that's the other thing. After feeling the 5% damage on the Dom Barrage, just saying hitting a Mark II for 1,000 per missile, tasty. Yes.
That's a lot of damage. How much is in the how many do you have in the salvo?
8.
Yeah, wow. Over 8,000 damage.
I can just beam them for like,
seems scary.
For like 1.5 to 2k, and then hit them for like another like 9,000 damage from missiles. And then I just like pew 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 with a few Gatling shots. I'm like, see ya, Mark II, bye. If I see one dodge roll, I'm like, oh, you did.
I say he did.
That boy did.
So, yeah, that definitely feels good. So being able to, have like 900 per missile or whatever beforehand, and now it's just over 1,000. That just feels really good. And I mean, it's not the biggest difference, but when everything's dealing 5% more damage, it definitely builds up. So some of those suits that are getting that, again, the detector, I don't know why it's getting 5% damage, but it is. And yeah, some of those suits that are already top tier getting that buff is just like, what? What are they thinking giving it that? So that's why again, that would be the one suit you would want to get. If you're a support player and you really like 450, you have a detector, then that would be a good investment. And then you got to get all the enhancement points. So
Yeah.
that ship just sailed. Hopefully they'll do another event on Halloween where we get double. But yeah. But anyway, there's a little tangent on that, I guess. Still in this section of stuff, but if you guys have any other thoughts? But I was really curious what you guys thought after the event and with how many boxes we have now and just seeing this number with 9%. But yeah. But anything else with that?
I think I'm good.
Nah. Only time will tell, jeez. Side note, Mark III still feels like suffering at 650. I'm having a hard ass time trying to get this to pump out any kind of numbers right now.
The Mark
We'll
III.
talk about that here in a second with
Yeah.
Emblem's topic.
I really like the suit. Like, the Mark III clicks really well with me. Before the Keyblade came out, it was so much fun bullying the double Zetas at 650.
I think that's just what it is too. Like I'm hitting Cubulays at center mass, and it's not going over 1,000 with those shoulder cannons, and it's just hurts.
Yeah,
I still feel
you
there's
just have
some
to, like,
BS there.
burst it out.
They said
But
there was
like
a
I
bug.
just had a run with the Zero Shiki, and that shit felt real good.
So one of the bugs, I don't know if you guys have been feeling this too. Again with the lag, I've been feeling it today. But well, when we get to the bug section, I'll point it out. But it's essentially actually there's not much in the bug section, so I might as well say it now. Here I'll pull it up and I'll just zoom down to it. So fix the oh, wait. Oh no, where is it? Can't find it. Fix the case where local head, leg, and back damage to the mobile suit was not entering correctly depending on the latency situation. So I've been seeing less numbers, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I just shot that in the middle. So I wonder if they were going off of where we're seeing it hit compared to where they were seeing it hit. They were going off 1. That's pretty much what that means.
Right.
So I don't know which calculation they're using now, but yeah, for damage, they're using one of those. I feel like I'm hitting center mass, and I'm like, be over 1,000, I thought. And it's like, 800 or whatever from, like I do a neutral. Then I hit what I think is the leg of the Cubile, and I'm like, wait, why did I just do 800 damage? Did I hit the shoulders now? So yeah, I wonder which way they're doing it that now. And I was feeling that today for sure with the Zeta Plus. But anyway. Next thing on the list of patch notes. The spot gun got a cool thing. Now if you spot somebody, the icon that's used in the lobby will be on the top left side of the health bar and say spot.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually have it on
Sounds like
right
a
now,
suit
actually.
and stuff. It was very neat. Now we just need a suit that can do it at super high cost.
Yeah, I like this. I think it's pretty cool.
Cough,
Like,
Methus, cough.
I'd be okay if the Methus had a debuff. I hope it's not the fucking spot gun, honestly. Or like a buff or something, but
that'd be cool.
It's pretty neat. Like, I think it's a good direction for the game. I like the idea of having the shooty suit be able to do more than just shoot things, but also be able to like actively buff and debuff. Like it's not only a debuff, but it gives vision as well. It's a nice effect.
Like spotting should be a lot more common than it is. Using the camera.
Oh, you cut out, Gustav. Using the camera.
Well, then I'm not
I can
gonna
stop.
say it again.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. So the next thing they had is deformation mechanism, which we talked about. That's the skill that wasn't a skill, but now is a skill, but it was already
Yeah.
there. For the Zeta
The
Plus and
phantom
Hammurabi.
skill.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, here's one of my favorite things. Watch your heads is now a chat option.
Hey.
Hey, the meme is now a chat option almost. If watch was only mind your heads, if it said mind your heads,
They'll lose
I
our
would've-
minds. Like, oh
I
no.
would have just been like, what?
They've been
Oh,
listening, Magnum.
Need to get an investigation.
Yeah, I need to be like, yo guys, you mistranslated that. That needs to be mind your heads. Come on, get it right.
You should
Yeah, there you go.
throw that at like the JP Twitter to see what happens.
If it gets changed, that'd be the best thing ever. Okay. But yeah, and then going after general, raid, and support type, the anti-tilt message back. Take the generals. Going after generals. Shut up.
Yeah, push.
Oh, did they add did they
Yeah.
like a confirmation of that? It's like, I'm doing it, asshole.
Yeah, pretty much. So not only do they have watch your heads, but they have going after whatever type. Anything else on those stuff and things? The premium login stuff. You can look at that. What you guys think about that? Again, Human Lightning just got put into the ticket shop, which we'll talk about here in a second. But yeah, it's the last segment, last third of the month is the Human Lightning level 1. But the first premium suit is the Rick Diaz. The second one is the Gun Cannon Heavy type D. I don't know why I stopped at heavy type. But yeah, 2 really good suits.
Oh sure.
What was the thing about them adding the new chat commands? Or is that just something you had noticed?
It's right above or right below where they talk about the new adjustment and the old adjustment. And did we want to cover the old adjustments and what changes they saw with them?
So it's on the balance changing page, is what you're saying?
No, it's right under the battle section.
It's like
on the
a different article under it.
So like it's on the main list of stuff where S- is and the major and spot gun and stuff is. But it's right there where it says battle. Right under battle.
I don't have that page open. Hold on a second.
Oh. I can link it in the Discord.
I'm pretty sure I have it. Yeah. Okay. I actually didn't look at this one yet.
Stupid striker.
But yeah, what do you guys think of the 3 suits for the premium stuff? Rick Diaz, Gun Cannon Heavy Type D. I don't know if I would if I was somebody who was whaling, I don't know if I would go for those 2 suits specifically unless they were just like my favorite suit kind of thing.
That or if you were just like really thirsty for them, like you, for whatever inexplicable reason you just never got them, like then for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty
but
much.
They're not bad. It's just kind of weird because I feel like they're pretty common.
Yeah, they're not like the craziest suits, which kind of nice that they're not putting like the most OP.
Yeah, I mean some of the other stuff like the MLRS and stuff, it did kind of set a precedence. It was a little surprising that they busted it out like right away.
Which it was still added to the ticket shop the same week they came out with the list, and you can pretty much get the last suit on the list if you just play really hard. Get those 100 space games in.
Yeah, part of me wants to say I didn't feel like I played really hard on Jenny, but I feel my idea of playing a lot is very skewed.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. It's like I've played a very casual month, and I've got like 300 games.
That's not
played.
actually true. Some people literally play like a game or like a week and
Yeah.
consider that casual. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. The numbers don't add up. I can't really count it for myself.
Everybody has like their own definition of casual.
Pretty much.
So I feel you there.
That's like I feel like I'm playing casually. Like there was somebody who came in and was like, I'm a casual player for Marvel, so I wish they had this or that, and I was like, I feel like I'm pretty casual right now. But,
Look at your playtime like,
Yeah, no, for real though. I can't even believe I put like, there's almost like 20 hours of like footage I've had to go through on the
That's just for like the betas and shit.
and I was
Damn,
playing
dude.
the beta. I'm like, what? How did I put 20 hours and just? I mean, I was playing with
Holy
friends,
shit.
but holy crap! Okay, this is either.
I mean, even so, how much is there to do in that game that you played for that long? That's nutty.
Well, that's, I
Like
mean,
from the gameplay loop I've seen, it didn't seem like it was that involved.
yeah, there really wasn't much, but it was more of those fun with friends kind of things. So yeah, we were all in Discord chatting and doing stuff and like, help me, oh, you suck, kind of thing. Stop, go. You're playing Iron Man, shoot, and I'm like, I am shooting. They're like, you're not shooting the right things. I'm like, completely accurate.
What do you mean?
No, it was completely accurate. I was down like, I was like, yeah, eat this laser to the face. They're like, take the drones. You're the flying dude.
Take
like,
the generals.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. That's exactly what was going on. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm a horrible person that's not taking the air units as an air unit type guy.
I'm sorry.
So, but yeah. Yeah, the casual thing really just kind of comes in. It's like, oh yeah, my casual is definitely not most people's casual. But let's see. So, Yuma Lightning. Speaking of that, go ahead and talk about the ticket shop stuff. Since we brought that up, what do you think about the Yuma Lightning? Should people get it now, or should people just try to wait and pick it up from just by playing really hard? I would say wait.
Probably. I mean, there are some people that it clicks with really well. Mareki in particular is one of the guys in my clan. Actually, seems to be having a really good time with it.
One of my favorite Gogus to play anyway.
It's got some extra flavor to it, that's for sure. Like, I like it. I have a hard time with it sometimes just because of the downswing being a little funky, but like having the simplified rocket launcher on a Gelgu, kind of neat. Like just for that novelty alone. Like if you like that, and if you're like a really big Hymo player today, then you'll probably have some fun with this thing.
Yeah, I have the level 2, but I definitely want the level 1. So I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna make sure I get enough playtime in to get every mission I need to get this thing. That's pretty much my take on it. So like, this suit alone is gonna have me logging in to get it.
So for you, it feels worth it, like for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe not for the tickets though. I'm still saving my tickets for other suits, but since there is the option to just play like a crazy person to get it, I'm gonna do it that way. So now the next suit, if you don't have it and you missed where they had it in the premium stuff.
This the moment.
Well, actually, Emblem, real quick. What's your thoughts on the Yuma Lightning?
I feel like I still see it on and off. The simplified rocket launcher is nice, and having it at those different costs could be pretty neat.
Okay.
Sorry, what did Gustav do?
I just had to play keep away and stay alive to like keep our thing. Everyone disappeared, and I was like, oh my god.
Man, Gustav's nice enough to mute his audio for the podcast. So I'm just like, what's this?
Well, I heard like the little laugh, like I was like,
I know, I didn't catch it in time. I'm sorry.
And I'm like, what is? I was like,
Gustav's actually.
What was that
which one
noise?
is it, Jason? Chi ha ha kill
Yeah,
oh yeah, that. Yeah, see, I was thinking more like I was thinking like some kind of like animal or something making a noise. I was like, Gustav's not making goose
that wasn't
noises.
an animal. That was a goose.
I was like,
that's what the goose sounds like when it's going in for the kill. or running maybe.
Actually,
how cats chirp when they look at shit. That's just what a goose does.
no, for real though. When a goose starts like hissing at you, man, you get the fuck
Oh,
out of
God.
there, dude. Like I've been chased down so many times as a kid.
Yeah, they
I've
don't.
never
fuck
had
around.
that problem.
Oh, over at my grandpa's farm, I'd go fishing, and like the best thing though, after catching some fish, would be to go to the other side and try to get a goose egg because I mean they're like, you ever had a goose egg? Anybody?
Mm.
Oh my gosh! Like, say this is your plate. Say you have the biggest plate that you had in front of you, it'll cover that plate in egg.
That sounds like an ostrich egg. Damn.
Yeah, they're like the goose eggs they're so good too. So the thing is, I would go try to sneak a goose egg out, and I'd be like, ah! And there'd be like 5 like geese just kind of come out of nowhere. I'd be like, where do they come from?
Yeah. Tabaraki.
Yeah, yeah.
Jetted.
I'd be sprinting.
He tried to take Rock out of the nest. Get this bitch.
For real. Magnum grabs the egg and is like, why is soy sauce for geese playing?
Like,
Where's my hands in your blood? Oh shit.
that was me as a kid. And then like I wonder why they started hating me. But every time they would see me, they'd just be like, you, and I'd be like, oh no,
it's the
run.
Rock. Stop taking my kids, fucker.
Yeah,
For real.
So, but yeah. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, Emblem, continue. The human lightning. My bad.
I did that thing under cost. Okay, yeah, keep going.
Yeah, it's got those nice things that let you get the bully on against the raids. Probably is good enough.
Mm.
You have the rocket shotgun, so seems good.
I will say though, at higher play, I tend to see the rocket launcher used more. But man, that downswing.
Yeah, that's because it's really good.
Yeah, that is true. But that downswing.
I feel like I miss even more with that downswing than I do the regular Gelgu downswing.
I don't know. I just like that it's like straight in front, so I can just be like, boom. The only thing that you got to do or be mindful of is like that teammate that's way over there for the enemy. He's like,
hey, what's up, guys?
You're starting your downswing? Okay, hang on. You got like 3 minutes in that animation, so I'll be right over. And then they tackle you, and it's just like, no.
I mean, you definitely got to cancel, right?
Oh yeah.
Like you see someone like so much as Twitch at you, it's like, no, away with you.
I fall for that all the time.
My first match in a plant.
There's so many Psyche.
But
so is the starter weapon the instant stun?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is the Kubile wrist gun.
Kubile.
So the other
that's right, this charges.
That if you have enough tickets to go get. Because this is the best, in my opinion, best 350 suit that we got. The Pale Rider Cavalry.
Oh yeah. That completely changed that cost range.
Yeah. Like
for sure.
I would even say you could take in a full team of these and not worry about having a supporter or a raid and just win.
As long as they're actually good with their shots.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people that pick up the cavalry is because it can do it all, and it's just like, what are you actually good with? It's kind of cavalry. It's kind of hard to like focus a little bit in that suit.
Oh yeah, like you literally are just you're like, I'm gonna stagger you, I'm gonna melee you. The melee is weird with the javelin.
You learn it though, and it's very high damage.
Yeah, so once you learn it, the melee collapse, but there is a learning curve to that melee with that weapon. But yeah, if you don't have this suit,
you get a lot on prototypes.
Oh, that melee.
But if you don't have this suit and you have the chance to pick it up, 10 out of 10. In my opinion, literally the best suit in that cost. But you guys got any other thoughts on that one?
Definitely check it out when you can. Get up in there.
And then DP store stuff. We actually got some cool things. Of course, the major stuff that we just talked about, they added that. But they also added the GM Intercept Custom Facebook. Level 2. The GM Guard Custom Level 3. The Dom Cannon Multi-Gun Level 2. So still a good support.
Hmm.
If you were gonna pick a Dom, I'd say probably go Dom Barrage. But if you prefer the cannon stuff,
Bias.
what?
He's got barrage bias. It's literally on his emo
A
list.
little bit. Might be an emote. It might be an emote, but hear me out here.
Is that what EG Mag Intensify is supposed to be?
Oh,
Yeah, that's
leave it
the
alone.
funny
I
thing.
know it just looks like a crunchy brown dot. You know what it is.
There's so many people that are like, "What is that?" And then they click on it and they're like, "Oh, that's a Dom Barrage." And I'm like, "Yay!" But they had to click on it to figure out what it was. There's been a few people though that I've like just
Immediately we're
intensified
like,
that
"Hey."
raid that were like
Yeah.
intensify that barrage, or they were just like they were like, "Oh, that's a Dom Barrage." And I'm like, "You didn't click on
Hey,
it. This
my
guy
people.
knows." Hitting follow right
One of
there.
us. One
Immediate.
of us.
Immediate follow. Done. We in there. But so yeah, the Dom Multigun though is definitely a top tier support. After the changes, it is fantastic. I could recommend checking this one out if you prefer the cannon style of play. And yeah, probably the only thing better that I think is the GM Cannon 2 in the e-store yet?
I'm not 100% on that one.
It might be. The GM Cannon 2 is really tanky, so
I had to look on Jenny because like everything else I got on my other account.
I was gonna say everything kind of just.
Oh, wait,
We got that
hold
one
on.
for free, so that was kind of, if you missed it on the event, that might be the only other thing that I could say would be
Wonder-
pretty much meta at that cost.
I never know how much of the wiki is actually updated until I look.
Well, hopefully that wasn't too loud. But yeah,
It doesn't look like it's in there yet.
okay. GM Guard Custom level 3. Personally, I think it's kind of fallen off at that cost.
Hmm.
But what do you think, Emma?
It hurts, but the only problem is getting in there, which has always kind of been the guard customs problem.
Yeah.
I think if you're using it as range focus, you're squandering its abilities.
See, I feel like I shine when I can actually get like a good spot, especially just crouching, letting loose with the shoulders, and then just laying into them with the actual shield.
Yeah, but the only problem is that dagger does as much damage as you'll do with your machine guns for like half of a game in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
So you
that's
literally just
fine,
missing out on
but I'm
so
also
much
just like,
damage.
wearing everyone else out so that they can actually get in there and do their job.
I mean,
I
the
guess
other
that's
thing
one
is,
way to look at it.
Fuck up and play chicken with me, then they're gonna pay for it really bad.
yeah, that's another thing that happens. And then you can just lay down and be like, now what are you gonna do? Like on Deserted City when they walk out in that middle of nowhere.
Armor, or you're about to get smacked in the face. Like one of the two is gonna happen, and there's a good chance you're not gonna damage me at all.
Yeah. So there is that. Again, I use it more as a distraction type suit, but you guys, I have to thank you guys. I can't remember which one it was and when we were talking about it, but the last time we were talking about the Guard Custom, and somebody was like, "Yeah, the shoulder Vulcans are pretty much just as good as the GBO2s." I was like, "Whoa, what?"
Yeah,
Then like right after that, I went into a game with it, and I'm like,
we fucking unlocked his potential in that fucking suit. He's like, oh my.
"I'm a new type in this suit now." Yes.
Oh, yes. But yeah, they got that stun threshold down pat. Like before the O2, the Ohu,
Yeah, woo.
the Ohu.
Oh. But yeah, it's a fun suit to play, but again, I feel like it falls off at this point because it gets some more maneuverability. And what do we have at 400 with general at that point?
If you're good
BD3.
at your Vulcans if you're good with your Vulcans to initiate, you can still kind of dig that dagger into people. But yeah, there's so much that's like a lot faster at that cost. It's a little bit,
Riders.
yeah.
Go flight
Pale
test.
Riders, if they pop, your machine guns are a lot more relevant all of a sudden, which is pretty nice.
Gun cannon heavy type D. Another one. Yeah, there's a lot more. Yeah, the mobility is real.
It's like, hey, now I'm actually doing damage to you. Thank you.
still a fun suit, and yeah. Also, after Emblem mentioned that the melee actually claps, and I started getting in there with it too because of the shoulder Vulcans. It was just like, okay, yep, I'm good at this suit now. I can take it into space as well. Be in there. So it's like,
Space real just because you don't have to pose with it either. You just stop and just like lay into somebody,
yeah.
and then just keep moving.
Oh yeah, Hildoffer and Assault. That's the other two that I forgot for the supports. Like, what support? I had to get on and look. But okay, let's see. And then the GM Intercept Custom FB level 2. It's top tier general in space. Enough said from me there. What do you guys think? Try it out.
For sure. Oh, ow, ow.
But yeah, if you guys don't have anything else with that one, you can look at the quickly go over the clan matches. I've got the bug fixes on the screen. Apparently, if your shield broke and it was like part of a weapon thing,
Yeah.
then there was like a bug to where like you could pretty much just re-stagger somebody like or something.
So like the Zeta or like the guard custom stuff like that.
Yeah,
It still stayed on your model, yeah.
weird. But
Because there's a lot of people who were getting nailed by like I think the example was like a Hyzak with this MG because you know how it has a pretty good stagger like threshold,
yeah.
but they were just like constantly stunning this dude with like one, just a single mag, and I was like, what is happening? What the this dude got fucking looped to death.
He was paying the raid tax.
Damage because it's broken, so it's like fuck.
Going to close those. Plans, stuff, and things. The next one isn't till, and they still haven't moved it down yet, but the next one isn't till next week. Next
Yep.
weekend on the 5th. 550 6v6 basic resource satellite in space. Have fun. If I'm up for that one, cool. If not, that's my take on that one.
I opted in, but I'm not looking forward to it.
The next one's simple battle at least. So like,
I am hyped for that one because it's also night.
Late night simple battle. That's always what it is.
Yep.
I'm ready.
300 cost though on crash site. Let's go.
Yeah.
Anybody can get in this.
It doesn't crush
matter.
everybody again.
It's low end fuckery here.
It doesn't matter what. Yeah, everybody can get in on this one. You can buy some good suits for DP if you've been playing.
Start the CDs and start getting down some hoes. We're ready.
Yeah, a few days. Just go in right now. It's the end of the month. Get your DP. Get for playing with people who've been playing all month.
It's gonna be interesting because I want to see what the sweaty suits are for that composition wise. It's been a while since we've had one at that range. It feels like.
Do we want to talk about that real quick? What we think?
Think about what?
Like, pick what you think is going to be the sweaty suit at 300 for
Oh.
So I'll pick support Emblem if you want to pick a raid and.
Damn, I don't think I can answer that question.
Be giving away your composition.
Well, no, I don't give a fuck about stuff like that. But no, I was more joking that I can't answer a question that doesn't have an answer. But realistically, it'll probably be the Juagu. Oh, not the Juagu, the Agu guy. It'll be the Juagu for sure.
Oh yeah, the Gugu's for sure. I can see that.
Wait. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't want to fight that guy. Oh no. Luckily, they just buffed the rabbit type.
Oh god.
Yeah, the tentacle type.
That's right. You can actually run that in there.
Yeah, the rabbit type is my pretty much support pick for this one. Or as normal Zaku Cannon is definitely the easy go buy it if you don't have it. Private first class is all you need. You kind of like
Friday you just grind up your ranks so you can have more available to buy at 300.
I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. Like if you really just need something, gun cannon mass production at Corporal, be pretty easy to get to by the time this actually happens. If you I like the sniper playstyle. It's a little higher to get to Sergeant with the Desert GM level 2, or just the GM Sniper or Sniper Custom. Pretty much get those in one day of playing. Then you got the weapons rack. Buy that too pretty early at Corporal as well. There's a lot you got at support at this cost that you can get too easy. Again, my favorite pick is definitely going to be the Zaku cannons and or the mass production. But
kind of nutty that we saw so many. There was a team that we saw in the last like really low cost clan match where it was a bunch of tank suits, and then we did that on the final match and ran into a bunch of CDs. Oh my god.
yeah, I guess you got the gun tank and the mass production, I think, cost.
Yep.
Oh no, the gun tank's not till 350. So you got the mass production level 2.
You got the mass production of the Zaku tank, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Zaku tank level 1's the one that they have there. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, I guess for general, what do we think on this one?
There's a lot of choices, I would assume.
Stuff that you can buy easy though.
CD is definitely gonna be there. Zaku
Yeah.
Kai is reliable. I'm trying to think of other stuff at 300.
FS. Yeah.
FS for sure, just because it's got the big bunga stick going on.
And you can buy that one really quick.
300, I don't know if anyone's really gonna go raid. There are some choices. I mean, Striker and like some other stuff's not too bad. Support wise, you actually get the sniper custom. I'm sure some people will be trying to mid to close that.
Sniper custom is nice, very responsive.
Another thing too.
Don't see too many Dom players in that, but Afrits are definitely going to be out and wilding out.
Yeah, free. Got to be, and that one. There we go. That's the one. Okay,
That's
I was gonna
the
be
one.
like, what's the cheap one that everybody can get? So either the FS, the Zaku Haimo.
It's the easy answer. Like even if you're not a shoddy dude,
Yeah.
the bazooka is pretty nice too.
So the Afrit Lance Corporal is all you need. Easy, yeah. Day one, you can get that. A really strong one if you like Scooty playstyle would be the Armor GM, but sadly you need to be Sergeant one to pick that one up.
Armor GM, I would say, is still going to be pretty common though, just because of the usual team.
Yeah, and it is a 1-star.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the meme gun got a buff though this patch, by the way.
Yeah, it did.
So
yeah, so you might actually see a couple, probably not with the meme gun, but like probably with the White Dingo in general. You might see those in there.
Curious to see that. Cold Districts is going to be something for sure. You probably see the really
Yeah,
good suit.
CDs are pretty common.
Like you said,
Good
the
to
VD.
For the Ultra Yeet.
Yep. And then Gundam Ground Type's pretty solid. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, the F2 is another one. I actually don't know what rank you got to be for the F2 though.
Corporal 1.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So raids now. We already said Agri Guy.
Probably none besides the Aga guy.
The only other one that I would probably say, I have to just do the honorable mention of the Sumo Gog and the Akai, but I don't think the Freet DS is there right now. I mean,
people might do it anyway just because of the fighting pose or whatever. There are a lot of people like from the old days who are like super sweaty in that suit. The other one would be the Striker, but I can't see that happening. We might see one or two sweaty Guff players, maybe.
Yeah, maybe the Guard Custom. Oh, we do have
Guard
the GM MSV.
Yeah, I like the MSV. I've enjoyed that so far.
But I think the two top tier ones are probably going to be the Agu guy for sure. Like, and then there's those crazy Zaku Flipper players out there that are just gonna like decimate.
Especially with the spotting too. Like that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. But yeah, Emblem, what do you think about that?
Sorry, you have to give me 1 second.
Oh. But I'm curious to see if there's like the third place one would be the Afrit DS on this.
Yeah, it feels like just like even if it's fallen off a little bit, like It feels like the easy choice. Not to mention, you'll probably see a couple Zuda people in there with the anti-ship.
Oh yeah, that is true. Probably see one of those for sure. There's going to be that inevitable one team that just has that, and be like,
Oh no, fuck.
Come on,
Heavy
Shield Supply, protect me, even though it's very small. My rabbit type.
Like it'll either blow your shield, but you'll still get stunned. Just
But yeah, you good?
Six.
Emblem?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think on raids at 300? What do you think is going to be the top raid? The Agu guy?
Agu guy.
Yeah. Anything else?
Agu guy.
Okay.
Realistically, I mean, probably not. Like maybe the DS. I could see people running. Maybe. What map are we on again for that one?
Site.
Maybe at lower costs. I don't see it getting any play at a high cost though.
Well, yeah, this is just 300. This is its level 1.
Sorry, I meant I used the wrong terminology. High rating.
Higher. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, I guess at that point, because what you're going to do is you're going to have everybody call it out, so you don't have the benefit of the radar jamming actually coming into play too much, because everybody's going to be like, teamwork, kill it.
Power of friendship. How dare you?
In the context of me saying to kill it. Okay, so if anything else on the clan stuff, or any thoughts? Not, we can. You guys want to look at what the adjustments were? If they were successful or not from what they did during the event? Kind of got the scrolling right now, but
regarding update in August, is that what that is?
yeah.
Okay.
So they so I guess we could just touch on this. The if anybody's played any of these, but the Gapfly, everything went up. Garibaldi Alpha at 400 cost, its rival win rate actually went down, and the damage dealt actually went down. Kind of interesting. That is weird, though. I mean, they didn't touch anything on its damage, so fair enough, but shows how much it fluctuates by 2% actually on its win rate. But the other ones went up, though. Easy 8 went up at higher cost.
That's actually kind of interesting.
Gelgoog high mobility type, where they gave it the buffs to that, its win rate actually went down at 550 and 600. I mean, considering with what they come out with, maybe that has a little bit to do with it, but
we kind of just put it back where it was in a lot of respects.
Yeah.
In the early times, it was kind of running, like when I was doing it on Ginny, I was like running circles around Zeongs and stuff. That was pretty easy. Then the fucking the fucking Cubulate happened, and I had to hustle twice as much, and it didn't feel as good anymore.
So interesting kind of observation that I was just looking at. Every time that I see the rate of play went up, though. So sortie rate went up.
Yeah,
so I just
because
wonder
it's
too.
curiosity, right?
Yeah, I wonder if some of this win rate going down is more of like
more people who don't
plays.
Yeah, and then getting bodied like, that sucked.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was poopy.
Agzaku Commander type. Now I forgot that they actually buffed this, but its win rate or rival win rate went down. Damage dealt went down at the 550 cost, and they just came out with 600. So have fun.
That's kind of awkward, and we both know why, because people started using the bullpup, and it was like, oh, this probably isn't doing as much because they're not following up the same way.
Oh my gosh, that could have been it. Oh man.
So a bunch of people were like, yeah, I want to try the MG, and it's like, oh, it's not doing that much damage. I'm not really initiating into my melee that much, so they just didn't do as much overall.
That's funny.
Trying to
That's
figure that out.
probably it. And yeah, like the actual play rate didn't go up from 400 to 500 apparently.
They're like, I know better as a trap. Hell
Yeah.
no. Doing it.
Um,
Especially now, like a lot of those that got adjusted, they're probably not gonna get wrong during the sweat times.
real. Freet knocked. Everything went up at 500 cost. I am sad.
Oh yeah.
Knocked like
I guess
this.
as a support player, yeah.
Knocked
I
like
mean, it was
this.
already a sweaty suit,
Oh
and
yeah,
the
it
fact
is.
that they made it a little bit more potent is just like, okay,
Help.
it needed it because it gets scrapped the minute someone like so much as blinks at it, but still, there was a time very early on in its life where people were almost foregoing the stealth because it was just so maneuverable, and they were just staying alive for ungodly amounts of time and just like clapping people. It's like, why won't you die? Up. But then, like, you know, as tends to happen, stuff gets released around it and it just gets countered really hard. So the adjustments, you know, kind of needed.
Dom high speed. Everything went up pretty much across the board.
Hmm.
That's kind of a cool one.
Yeah.
I felt it was already in a decent spot though.
It's in
But
a decent spot until it gets thrown out of its rhythm. And it feels like, you know, again, a lot of stuff came out around it that just kind of negated its value.
yeah.
So it's nice that they messed with that.
The GM MSV, everything went up across the board from its buffs.
Mhm.
Nice. Because, I mean, that thing was like really cool. And then they buffed the Ag guy and the Agri guy came out.
Because it's like, oh, so we can just use the same old shit and not worry about this clan exclusive thing? Cool. Whatever.
Desert GM,
My time with it now.
350 and 400. Desert GM went up. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then the weapon related stuff, looks like the gear that they have is set up like this. But the Agzaku Bullpup, they don't have any data on it, even though it got adjusted. So it's kind of curious. I wanted to see that because I saw the Fedayeen rifle, where they buffed it. It actually dealt less damage at 600 cost.
Ugh.
Which is weird, but I'm guessing it's just because of all the suits and like the Gapling and Hammurabi getting bodied by things. But rival win rate went up,
Mm-hmm.
and the win rate went up overall. So kind of interesting that the damage went down.
Yeah.
Kinda.
So it's having, I guess it's not having Rockstar moments as much, but it's still like contributing more overall.
But that's
It's
just one
not
of
like
those. Go ahead.
it's just not a detriment, so it's just overall reaping the benefits from the rest of the team.
That's just one of those weird data points, though. That's like, okay, cool. I'm not sure what this data is actually telling us because it's
That
like,
doesn't say a lot about the suit, it just says a lot about it being around other teams.
yeah. So the actual
If
buffs,
anything, just means that, like one-on-one, it's really rough.
yeah, pretty much. Like it might need something more. But anyway, so these buffs this time, the Zaku 2 F2 got 10 damage and 250 health. That's at all levels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, sorry. The 250 health is level 2 and 3 only.
Eh.
But by the way, I'm just kind of gonna go through these. If you guys want to comment on any of these, just go ahead and go. That anti-air gun's gonna clap though now. 10% increased damage. That's kind of nice.
That is nice. I'm ready. It does feel like stuff is kind of outspeeding it a little bit, and like the 1-2 stagger didn't feel as potent anymore. But now that you're gonna do a little bit more damage, like you gotta look at there every time you get tagged with it now. So that's good.
Actually, wait a minute. Oh yeah, never mind. That's the suit buff, not the gun buff. I was like, wait, did the gun get buffed? Oh no, the flipper.
Oh god.
I was starting to panic. But yeah, the GM
Sorry.
White Dingo, they added 5 speed and then 10 speed at level 2 and 3. At level 2, they gave it 4 more medium slots, and at level 3, they gave it also 4 more, giving it a total of 11, and then 12, level 2 to 3, for its part slots. It's actually a pretty big deal at that cost. Wonder if that's for just getting the cooldown on your. Could easily with 4. That's 1 close range, and then you have the mediums now to add on like a level 2 the auxiliary generator or whatever it is. And then they up the damage of the proto beam rifle by 350.
Hey, damn, they keep pumping that thing like just work, please.
It's getting scary, man. As a
I like
GOG
it,
person, I'm like, oh no.
I like that shit though.
The one thing that can
Just
beat
make it,
Sumo GOG.
if they're not gonna do the stun ratio, then at least let it pump out more damage.
But yeah, the one thing that can scare the Sumo GOG, Exodia.
Exodia.
Yeah, for real. Exodia obliterates everything. Not even the GOG is safe.
Oh man.
Just raw kill damage, like fuck it.
This next one was pretty nice to see. I know you'll be happy about the beam rifle on it, but the Barzam got a buff. At level 2, it got 1,000 health. And the
Yeah.
funny thing is on the English translation, it says also for level 5, and I was like, wait, what? Level 5 Barzam?
Dun
But
dun
that's
dun.
supposed to be level 3.
I let that one slip.
Yeah,
Oh no.
at level 2 though, it gained 3 ballistic defense, and at level 2 it also gained beam resistance by 3, so 24 and 24, and its charge rate, focusing rate, is now 1 second less, 3.5 seconds on that beam rifle.
Look how they did up my boy. Hell yeah. Feels
Trying to
good.
make it more Alex-like.
Feels nice.
much.
Definitely got a good space round in it earlier today too, which is pretty encouraging.
I still like the shrapnel on it, but yeah, that's kind of nice that they're buffing that beam rifle. G-Line standard, I've been saying it, it's Gatling Smashers need a slight buff, and they got a literally just a slight buff.
Really slight buff.
5 flat damage.
Woo.
At level 2
Yeah,
and 3 only.
They always tend to do that. It's like, but you're hitting so many times it doesn't matter. You could afford to do it a little bit more.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's see.
Okay, there it is. So that actually makes it half a second longer to charge in the Alex. So it's very close.
Getting there.
So I was trying to find the info.
Zaku 1 GS got a buff at level 2 and level 3. They gave it 1,000 health. Its melee increase went from 17 to, wait, no, this is correction. That
No, that's mod. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure
that's
it's
the modifier. Okay, yeah. We're gonna have to actually check this because I might have just said the wrong thing for the Barzam then. Then it might actually got a DPS increase.
yeah, DPS overall. Which is pretty nutty.
By 3%.
Because its highlight is already that it has it. So that's pretty cool.
Let me check real quick. Do I not have the level 1? Oh, there it is. Oh wait, yeah, that's right. That is the level 2. I'm being dumb right now. Oh yeah, so that is resist.
Okay.
I think they just messed up when they were doing the translation this time. Normally they
It's fair. Just, no shield. It is kind of frail, even at its cost.
So with the GS, that is melee defense, I believe. Okay, now this one, oh, melee. Right. Oh no,
Was
this
that
one is
Coke, Gustav? So good.
So this fight correction is actually the melee damage for the GS. So again, they messed up their words translation, but oh well. So it's got 7% increase in his melee damage on the Zaku 1 GS, which is kind of nice. And the Rakit Zuka.
Rakuten.
Oh, dude, I must have been zoned out. I realized we already passed by the G line standard.
You're in a zone over there. I don't know what you're doing, but
I guess so. I mean, I thought I was listening, but
you
I was like,
commented on
I
it.
was like,
You
what?
commented on the like barely any damage added to it.
Well, that's because I was.
he's
Did I? The
Well,
last
you're
thing I remember
going
saying was the
there.
charge time for the bars on beam rifle. Did I actually say that?
Yeah.
Interesting. I have no recollection of commenting on that Gatling smasher.
Oh no!
Interesting. Yeah, I must have been zoned out.
You must have been like.
He's very professional even when he's not paying attention. Though that's what we
I
gotta
guess so. Are you sure? Like that wasn't Gustav like burping, was it? Like was that me?
Just get out of here.
Oh man. Oh man. Okay. Well, we do have a a recording here, so somebody can say yay or nay in the comments whether. But anyway, sorry, I had to say the Rakitan thing. But yeah, that got a buff. Weird number buff, but buff at level 2 and 3. It got 68 damage at level 2. So probably something close for the level 3. But that bazooka getting buffed also means the Tropin got buffed. Hoot. Which conveniently enough, the next thing they got buffed is Tropin. But yeah, it's kind of nice on the Zaku 1 GS. I don't see it used hardly at all, so I feel like it might need a bit more than that. But we'll see. Especially since they're talking level 2, because that's 350, and I'm like, Hellrider.
There's a lot of powerhouse suits.
But yeah, the Tropin got the optimal waste heat efficiency, level 1. Level 2 unit HP increased from by 750, giving it 15,000 now. Level 3 also got that. And level 3 and above got the special leg buffer level 1 to level 2. And then again, the bazooka went up same damage. So kind of cool. They're giving it more defensive options and more maneuverability with the less heat. Now this one's a big deal. Oh, do you have something to say about the Tropin?
Go ahead. I was just gonna say yeah. It was just gonna be like I don't play it, but those guys that like it, they like it, and they'll be happy they're getting even more damage. Like yes, my suit is better now.
My child.
So the next two
pretty much
are really actually the next 3 I think are just really big. The Zero Shiki got a crazy buff, and it kind of needed it.
It did.
Like its melee's okay, but it seemed to be like, yeah, shoot a lot, and it was like cool, but
at what and with what resistances? Like
yeah, so
tough.
30 to 40 now, so it got 10% damage increase at all levels, and the beam rifle went from 1200 to 1300. The heat rate was improved, so now you can get, I think it was about 8 shots. I can't remember. I know Lotus was saying that it was like 8 shots. I don't know if this was and then you've overheated or 8 shots right before you overheated, so you could technically get a 9th. One of those. Either way, though, that's a lot of shots.
And the firing rate is insane on that rifle.
Pretty much. So they also increased the stagger ratio, which did we ever confirm if that was a 2-hit stagger or is it still 3?
It's still 3. It's still 3.
Emblem.
You can do Vulcans into it and it'll be 2.
Okay. So Emblem, can you figure out the percentage of stagger on the Zero Shiki?
Yeah, I gotcha.
And then they
also
also
look it up. My webpage turned back into Japanese, but don't mind me.
Damn you, Moon Rudes!
But the reduced heat rate during focus fire is nice, which also we'll have to figure that out. And we'll wait a brief second here while Emblem looks that up, because the next one is one of his suits, and I'm sure he'll be happy.
I found it, but it's a weird number. It's 47% per shot.
I mean, that makes yeah, it's less than 2, but then some Vulcans. So that's kind of cool. Hopefully it's not too many Vulcans. What are the Vulcans stagger rate?
Like literally I hit it with like a vol, maybe
2%.
So like just a couple
that's not bad.
missions through both sides, and then you switch it back. Not bad.
Yeah, that's 2 and then like 3 Vulcans. Kinda cool.
Not to mention, like, literally everything else is going to be hitting it at this cost. Like, your rifle is just going to be there to steal the deal more often than not.
Pretty much. Cool. So that's really nice though. I
But
kind of want to see the damage numbers.
Gustav, the sealant is there to seal the deal.
But actually, if
by the way,
it's even worse just because it makes people move and attack slower.
Yeah, the sealant also doesn't allow you to fly. Transform.
You're all sticky now.
Yeah.
I definitely never noticed that.
And stuck.
Because I was like, why can't I don't know whether I was doing like a flight type and a mix up or if I was in the Zeta Plus, but I was like, what's going on? It won't be out of here. Ah! And then
Oh, also a side note,
Pursuit was
Honolulu
like-
says hi.
wait, what?
What?
Honolulu says hi.
Oh, I thought you said Honolulu hentai. I was like, send it to me in my DMs, bud.
No.
That's what
I
I
get
heard
chat
something close to that.
You have to subscribe to their OnlyFans for that.
Honolulu
Okay.
Kantai. Is it Kantai Collection or what's the other one? Azure Lane, that's it. Isn't it
Yeah,
one of
Azure
those people?
Yeah, it's from Azure Lane.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so here we go, Emblem. I don't know if you've played it yet, but the
I
Bowl
played
of
it earlier,
Oats.
actually.
Boulevards.
Bowl and Oak. So how does it feel now? And I'll go over the buffs real quick. HP 1,500, and this is at all levels for all of this. So 19,000 at level 1 now. It gained ballistic resist up to 25 from 16. It's now double beam resist at 18 from 9. 225 speed from 210 when you're boosting. 75 thrusters, so plus 10 to the thruster. Back special buffer is now level 3 from level 2, and the arm buffer is now level 3 from level 2. Now I don't know what the percentages on those are because for some reason they go all over the place with some of those.
I think it was 15.
Yeah, I know
hold on a
some of them
second.
are like 15, some of them are 20. I know like the Cubulate stuff is like they're level 3, they're 30%. So
The boost speed and the boost the thruster consumption rate is nice, but these weren't the buffs that the Bowl and Oak needed. The defense change, like for the buffer, is nice, but like I said before, the Bowl and Oak's problem, it's just like how I don't think the Zeta Plus is really doing anything with its defensive build. Like raising its stats isn't going to help it not get murked. It needs to be able to get in there, engage the support, and not get peeled off in the middle of its attacks. Because you need to be able to neutral and then follow up with the beam. What you calls them? Name.
yes.
Tomahawk. Yeah. So like, why did they think that making it bulkier was better than giving it what's it called? Anti-blast stabilizer, or
It's really weird that it doesn't have anti-blast. Actually,
yeah. How does a mobile suit as big as a
As
Bowl
a
and Oak not have anti-blast?
Yeah, that is weird.
Like by
And like,
nature,
why doesn't it have damage controlled or whatever the skill is? I always forget the name of it, but it's the one that makes you
offensive
resistant
system.
to staggers. And yeah, offensive system. Like, why doesn't it have offensive
Yeah,
system?
for real though.
Like, it needed those two skills. I would trade away all the defensive adjustments they made. I'd give them the 10 thrust back for one of those skills.
Oh my.
Um,
Ooh, Emblem giving thrust away on a raid. Oof. Okay.
Yeah, like it has enough slots to make up the difference without them giving it natural 10. They should have given it buffs that matter. Like sure it has false flag. Yeah. The rockets are nice. They're hard enough to hit with because they arc kind of weird. Or maybe that's just me getting used to it, but yeah, they needed to give it something to make it more defensible. I don't care that it has false flag.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough to kind of justify how awkward it is.
Fair enough. Yeah, for me, I just was reading these. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. But That's why I was wanting input from people that have played it, because I know you've been trying to play that thing, and the only time you've ever like clapped me is when I was like a giant Hildoffer, and you're just like, well, here we go. I'm just gonna grenade you to now. Now where are you going? Like, no.
Yeah, when the target's big and slow, it's all good. Because I mean, the damage is there. The bullet dunk does
Yeah.
crazy damage.
Oh yeah.
The minute it gets
The
left
neutral,
and gets on somebody, that thing is dead.
yeah, the neutral has a better damage modifier than the downswing does on the double beam saber. It's 200%, man. You do insane amounts of damage.
That is so dumb.
So like that's not the problem. You just need to be able to get in there.
That's the thing about that suit, though. It's a trap. It's a fucking You see all those crazy things about it, like tearing one suit apart on those highlight reels, and you're like, "That's really fucking cool. I want to do it. Let's go." And then you just get clapped by everything under the sun trying to make it work.
Yeah, that montage game with that suit, like, like if I have a chance to like get one. Actually, do I have one on my alt now? I might, but yeah, if I ever get around to making the videos and I ever get to that suit, I'm gonna be like, so yeah, guys, warning, this is a montage game as an example of what this suit could do one day. And yeah, I played
Results
700 games
may
before
vary.
this one game happened, or
Mhm.
1,052 games before this one game happened, but it finally did, so here it is.
I don't know, Magnum. I see you play. I see you get away from murder sometimes. You'll probably play one and be like, "What's Emblem talking about? This suit's dumb. Nobody ever messes with you," or whatever. And then like, yeah, I'll play a game with it literally the next time, and I'll try to like go towards a support who's like kind of by himself, and two people will drop off and just murder me.
It'll be
something.
someone who requests you to do it. They're like, "I saw Magnum do it, and he did really good. You'll be fine." Oh,
Yeah, pretty
Hangar
much.
doesn't play raids.
Yeah, literally, I was playing. I had a match that I was playing during the podcast earlier, where I was pushing the support, and like I ran past one of my teammates fighting a blue, and the blue fucking disengaged from the fight against my teammate just to shoot me in the back while I was attacking the support. Man, like where are these people when like if you guys don't think good teammates exist, like they're fucking out there. They're just not on your team, okay?
exactly.
Like, I mean, he didn't stop me because it was missiles, but it's just I got shot in the back. It's like, are you kidding me, man?
Since what?
Oh man. Okay, fair enough.
It's soul crushing sometimes. It
It
always
kinda
happens.
is.
Man.
Oh, and it really does happen when it like, at least when you're the support, you just feel unless there's a Mark II coming at you, then of course there's an extra raid on the enemy team.
Oh god.
But unless it's but you just feel that raid just on you all the time. And then when it's just like when the opposite effect happens and the blues are on you as a raid, it's just like, why is this a 1v5 or a 1v4? Help. So yeah, fair enough. Definitely been there. I think everybody's been there that plays raid much at all. But
It's just like I was actually trying to leverage the Gaplant's control actually, and I got shot out of it. It's just like maneuver armor, man. I just don't think I don't think I'm gonna be able to use gimmicks like that because the game doesn't recognize that you're in it before you get stunned. So
yeah,
you're just as vulnerable as
especially with
anybody
the
else.
things on rolls, like just latency and just server fuckery in general makes
I
all
really
the
think
new
that's our problem.
go out of the window.
Exactly.
And the worst part was like it's not like I had bad timing. When I got shot out of my stagger, like you know how like the swing is the like little swiping motion, kind of like how the burst unit 5 does.
Yeah.
Like I was literally my suit was moving its arms up to do the down stab, and I was just like, oh, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I got stunned, man.
Yeah, I wonder if
But
that's
if
just
all the other plants that I see get away with it, how come I don't get? How come I get stunned?
I really wonder if it's just a latency thing, and we've seen them do it. Like again, when we talked about the Kaplant, like after it came out, and like after a week, I think we talked about it
Thing is
again.
that it's a latency thing that's like out of our hands too, because it's not even like the maximum has been done to combat that, right? Like there's no dedicated. We have like maybe a server that kind of like does the middle work between ours, but it's still peer to peer. All this other shit, and like we were talking about earlier with the whole fluctuation down of like Western players versus JP players when it comes to the matchmaking, that's hurting it too.
Yep.
On top of PSN fucking up in the recent weeks. So it's just hard to pin down. And even when we do pin it down, like the answer is things that are way out of our control. And that just makes it feel even worse.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the bummers. Yeah, pretty much a big feels bad with that one. I'm like, I got nothing other than it's a big feels bad when it comes down to that. But anyway, well, Bolin Oak still needs something else. That's what I'm taking away from this.
Could it see something to defend itself? Defense wasn't it, because you still have the same problems.
Yeah.
Just give it something to resist stuns while it's doing its thing. Like, you don't even need a lot. You just need to be able to resist one. And that's all that's really going to get you.
Survivability definitely helps. It just needed more on top of what we got. Because like maneuver armor is all fun in games until you actually get shoot out before you get to somebody. But like it definitely needed this. It just needed more resistance to the stuns along with it.
Oh yeah, if I can ever break maneuver armor and like the detector or something before anything gets to me, I'm just like, is it what's the level 1 cost?
Probably still doom that suit.
What's the level 1 cost of Bolin Oak?
Bullets is like
500. Is it 450? I always forget. Like I feel like I probably played level 2 more.
500. I'm just crazy.
Thinking it's 500. The reason why I asked that is I think I've played against it for sure in the detector, but I don't know if I was playing under cost by some.
Yeah, 500, 550.
500. Okay, good.
So yeah, then I know I've played against it in the detector, and as soon as that maneuver armor breaks or anything, or I catch it, I'm just like, my legs, my legs, my legs, my legs are staggered again.
Mention my legs.
And then I'm gonna run away, and hopefully your legs are dead. And if they're not dead, I'm gonna hopefully break them before you actually get to me this next time. And sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, like that's pretty much, once that's broken, it is so easy to bully with certain suits of that cost that it's kind of a big oof. And if you're trying to do the grenade thing on approach, and I'm like the type B at that cost, and I'm just like, super giant missile, enjoy your knee stagger. I mean, you're gonna stagger me, but then I'm gonna yeet out after. So there's a lot you can like defend yourself with at that cost as a support, and where that thing's so big, like even then, even if they try to dodge that missile, where the missile moves faster now, it's like I can actually hit some. Yeah.
Right, they don't get to like side glance it and be like, oh, it'll by the time I move, they actually had to like actively move away from it.
So give it offense system. That's what we got. Anyway, this next one, pretty quick, but really hype as well. The big gun on the Zaku Cannon Rabbit type. Personally, looking at the data there from level 1 to level 3, the win rate does look a little low for, I mean, with the average in there too, it's still around 51.5, 51.4, but just on the level 1 unit level at 250, it is definitely on the lower end for level 1, which is kind of interesting. Maybe, I don't know. They do talk about it here. Compared to the similar machine Zaku Cannon, this machine can only be equipped with the lower level main weapon. So it was intended to deal high damage by utilizing a secondary weapon, the big gun. However, the inferior performance of the big gun damage done did not increase. So I think the main thing is the big gun was kind of a little bit too easy to dodge sometimes, but when you got it off, you definitely had more damage. And my case in point for this is, look at the where people were trying to push the ladder during the like Psycho Gundam and the survival events, when they had it in the ranking system, when they had it cost reduced to 300 and 250. The one that was hitting the higher end, like the top 10, was Rabbit type and not Zaku Cannon normal. I mean, it was still getting up there, but the Rabbit type was the one. Like, I think one time it was Rabbit type was like second place, and then another one was Rabbit type was first place actually. So I'm just saying its damage was definitely up there. It's just you had to hit everything. So that, you know, obviously that number one slot was probably that dude's perfect run out of who knows how many. But still, it definitely, I think, had, or still has, and it is even more so, has the damage over the Zaku cannon. And it also has the utility, too, with having a little, I mean, it's a small shield, but it's still at least a shield. But 80 damage for the level 1 version of it, and all levels also got that buff. It chunks. I'm hitting over, like on the 351 now, I'm hitting over 1,000 per volley for each hit on the big gun now. It is kind of gross. So, I'm a fan. I'm hyped. That may or may not be what I'm using on the clan match. And yeah, so that's the patch notes. Okay, so Emblem, you wanted to touch on the rarity thing. We'll go ahead and move on to that. And so if
Gotcha.
you want to get that started, I'll go ahead and change the topic. And then we'll do some speculation. Oh, actually, one last thing. Oops. The water map stuff. What do you guys think about that? I mean,
It's cool. I
other
didn't
than
hear
it's
yet.
coming next month.
Mhm.
So I've been hearing some weird things where trying to find the video real quick. The gun cannon. Well, oh yeah, that's right. This is actually this isn't the normal really loud music whenever this hits. There we go. Down
It's
toward the
always
end, the
loud.
gun cannon does like it looks like it's trying to shoot its beam and it doesn't fire. So I've been hearing everybody talk about that the beams won't work on stuff like the gun cannon.
That'd be interesting.
Mhm.
I mean, lore-wise, apparently that's a thing. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's
like
the
beams
case.
in general are still not effective in water. Like it's even something that happens in G generation games between the
Yeah,
different
Super Robot
terrains.
Wars as well. Usually the damage is greatly diminished. Like
That being
the
said, we
difference
still
between
see
doing thousands to hundreds.
the Zagok doing the advancing beam shot with its mega particles. So
Yeah,
maybe mega
so
particles in general is still relevant, but like other beam types aren't,
like
or
if
they'll
you
just be reduced.
yeah, so I'm curious if we're gonna get like a damage reduction or something. But if you look here for the gun cannon, this is kind of what everybody's been talking about. So right there at the tip of its gun, there's nothing, and then after this shot, which kind of covers it up. Oh no, it actually takes a shot. Never mind, it shoots. Okay, well
Yeah.
then I don't know what people are talking
Yeah,
about.
People are
I
just
mean,
people are
they
just
could
speculating.
have just
They
missed
don't
it.
got anything else
Huh.
to go on.
Yeah, I just now noticed it too because
Yeah, 'cause I was just
I've been seeing the screenshot, but right there's a pink beam. So yeah, it works.
Yeah.
So never mind. They do work underwater. Everybody was just like saying, "Look, it's like trying to charge, but there's nothing there." So yeah,
Cats
yeah,
jump.
it
What a
definitely fires a
surprise!
shot.
that's one little frame of pink. Literally one frame there of pink that I've missed up until this point. Also,
If
those
it
bubbles look
registers the
silly.
hit, then like that'll be cool. But if not, it might just be letting you shoot, and then
Well, I mean that one doesn't stagger at all, so it's not like we could see if it's actually doing
right.
much. But I will say the bubbles look really funny. They're just a floating JPEG.
Hopefully they fix that by the time it comes out. Oh god, that'd be funny if they actually released it like that.
That would be hilarious. It would fit right in with the aesthetic of the game.
Okay, now these bubbles behind the boosters are actually legit. But like the bubbles that are getting created
Yeah.
from the beams are like
If they had to
white
do it for the
JPEGs.
model, they're gonna make it look. But like everything else is probably just a placeholder.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay. But yeah. Okay, so well there's that. There went that question. But other than that, I hope my take on this is I hope that they don't give, if there is negatives for being in the water, I hope they're not too high, and
I guess
hope
they,
it's just
to
a
a certain
buff.
degree, they have to be really high because like
Oh, you
We
cut out
lost you as well.
otherwise?
then they're just gonna avoid anything about that map. Either the map entirely, or they're just not gonna do amphibious.
I mean, the thing is, like
Because like if the answer is just to stay above them and flex your support hubris, then you might as well just play regular port base.
well, that's going to be the other question. Is there going to be an alternate version of this, do you think? Or they're just going to be, I
Yeah.
think they're just adding this. Like, I think this is just going to be default on port base now. Like
That
all
would
4
suck if
bases
it
would just
was
have
the
that.
case. They already had the different version for the Dusk or whatever.
I
They
mean,
didn't make that like the permanent change.
Like I was
to it.
saying, man, we're only gonna play port based
Yep.
on random because we're gonna have
Random.
to cycle through 4 different versions of the stage.
That's
No, I'm
kind of the
sorry.
yeah,
Or
4.
yeah,
It
yeah.
would be 4, yeah.
Well,
So
if they actually did add it for the Dust, that'd be cool too. We've only seen it for the day one.
that might be the alternate. Is it one doesn't have the water, one does.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like on the other maps, obviously that new map will just have it. Looks like, and then the thing is, if it's too much of a negative, you're just not gonna go near the water.
Mhm.
Like, don't jump in with the sharks. Then just go bomb their
And
base.
just sit there and be a waste of a team slot. Like, oh no, come back.
Well, I mean, then you just wouldn't like. That's what I'm afraid of. Is the meta is just not going to be ever amphibious suits then? Because if you're,
The map is just gonna.
Well, it
slip.
already is. So
yeah, I mean that's the thing. Nothing's really going to change. So if there's
Like,
too
That guy and that guy get away with what they get away with because they're stealth suits that can do good shit on the land. But everything else has to struggle a little bit for what they got.
yeah, so I would like to see buffs, like significant buffs to amphibious suits, but I don't really want to see nerfs to normal suits getting in the water. Like I don't want to see too high of a negative. Because if it is too high of a
honestly,
negative,
that's what I think is gonna happen though, Magnum.
That's the
Like
because they have to have an advantage in the.
well, yeah, they definitely have to have
Well-
an advantage. But I don't want to see like people are talking about, well, you might move 10% slower in the water, and I'm like, that could be a big oof.
Well, yeah, because
well,
go in there on purpose. Like you
Hmm.
fuck up, had to hide from somebody, get in there. You cross your fingers that there isn't an amphibious suit and that you can actually get out before someone finds you.
yeah, I mean, pretty much. That's kind of what my takeaways from it too. Like, I think the changes that you see in the video are buffs that they're going to add to the aquatic suits when that patch comes out. Like,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know, maybe the game is dynamic enough to be able to tell. Because I mean, that's interesting too, right? Because if it works like that, I think us seeing a hybrid map is a little bit more likely because if the game's able to tell the difference in match. Because right now they literally had to change it because they couldn't do space and ground together, so they had to
yeah,
separate
that's
the
right.
clients.
Yeah.
But this will be an example of them having a hybrid environment inside of a match, or I don't see why it would matter, but like maybe there could be pockets of water and space for some reason, But that's neither here nor there.
It's just a weird pocket of water on top of E.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
Like,
the dark space.
Spacefaring Hygog. Oh no.
And you see, it's a blitzball stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
There we go.
exactly. But
Next thing you know, we're gonna see Courtney and a GM Striker in space as well.
Yeah.
With the
Doing
Picaro and a Hygog.
well, Courtney can already be in a GM Striker in space. It's called the Kai. But
There we go. Never mind. Got it.
But so that's like a pretty cool thing to think about. Like, where's my Von Braun map where I alternate between the two on the fly?
The new one seems like it's pretty much just like Jabro or whatever.
Yeah, it's
I could
the
see
map
that.
from the first game.
It looks like it. Yeah.
Just has water now or something.
Yeah, like the water isn't puddles. It's just like actual water.
Maybe your suits will get wet. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool too. Like if they actually put real effects
Oh, that
on
would
like
be
you get.
legit.
Oh, could
Yeah,
you
like your
imagine
boat suit actually looks like it's.
under there too? Like
How would pilot stuff work? Are they going to require helmets on the ground now?
that'd be kind of neat. Like if you don't, you have like a timer. It's just like hold on, hold your breath, bitch, get out.
Ooh, that'll be interesting. It's gonna be cool. I think that's the first thing I'm gonna try when the patch is. Is just like, okay,
Just
I gotta
come
load
out,
into a map, get into pilot.
Be
We're
funny
going
if you put like air things on your mouth. Like, oh, you're fine. Don't worry. We don't want to deal with it. You can still breathe.
That's funny.
But I'm sorry, I got off track though. Kind of the way I think it'll work is kind of like what Gustav was saying. I think these like they'll buff the amphibious suits because I mean honestly the Zagok should be boosting and be able to shoot its crappy particle cannon anyway. With how long it takes between shots and the fact that you have to do like
It should be
3
able to do
hits.
that over land too.
Yeah, like I think it's just a buff that it probably needs. But again, they could make it to where you can it recognizes that you're in the water and you get effects for it.
Good.
So
Yeah.
okay, there is that.
Like a
But
skill.
I think giving a disadvantage to suits that enter the water and letting the aquatic suits act normally, to me, makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like I think the only offset that you get for most aquatic suits is that like there are some that, because like the lore nonsense behind it is that they have high powered mega particle cannons, and the reason that they can fire them like normal is because they essentially have that natural water cooling
It's
or
like
whatever.
generators that are water cooled in their suits.
Yeah.
Like crazy shit. That like aquatic suits are very bulky because of that, and that's why they have such weird form factors. A lot of them are just like glorified mobile armors as a result.
Right, yeah, and a lot of them are just meant to use the water as a means of transportation, so they can set up somewhere opportune and just murder things. Like the Zoc is an aquatic suit.
MS team just popping out of the water and terrifying an entire unit.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so if they do it that way, though, my thing is there should probably never be a reason for you to be in a position as, say, anything. Then, like if there's, I mean, port base is big enough to where there's probably enough water there. The new map,
For
maybe the
sure.
same thing. But if there's not enough water, like the example that they show on Twin City, like just never gonna fight around that area.
Like that was a dumb one.
I agree.
I think they saw that like, well, water should be here, so we're gonna put it here. And in that case, that'll probably be a map that doesn't have an alternate. I could see that because it's such a minor part of the map. A lot of fighting happens there now, but it doesn't have to happen.
I think that's what they showed. Port base will make the most
central point, and a lot of people are still going to try to do the whole bunga at sea, which means now you're kind of doing a trapeze act of like not wanting to fall in the water.
Yeah,
you just can't.
Right.
Like the mosh pit.
A lot of fighting happens down there.
Now it's more dangerous because if people start actually getting good with the new controls for those amphibious suits, now you got to deal with them on top of your usual bullshit for people like shooting at you on high and stuff.
That was going to be my question. So how easy do you think it would be for like an aquatic suit to get up on the pipes? Because if they can get up on the pipes like that, then boom, we're there. We're good. For port base. Anyway.
I'm actually glad you mentioned that because I don't like the way the underwater stuff is portrayed in the video. I hope that they're leaning heavily on this is test stuff, and it's going to look different when it comes out, because in the format it's in, it just seems like, and maybe they do need to do a stat buff for the suits underwater if it's going to look like that. But how come the aquatic suits aren't moving like aquatic suits when they're underwater?
Space or
like why is this a Gawk not like, you know, torpedoing at the thing, like when you're underwater, right? I mean, I think in Gundam versus Zeta Gundam, if you were in an aquatic suit underwater, you were a fucking like shark essentially. Even the Zoc, like they need to make it to where the aquatic suits have have a mode where you like move like an aquatic suit and you literally can shoot out of the water and like literally dolphin out of the water and like, you know, surprise motherfucker.
Like, well, right here at the beginning, the first thing that they show off when the video's starting is like, oh, it's just a normal day in Ruin City. Everything's fine. And here we go. We have our nice support. Oh man, why did they use the support? Come on, why didn't they just use a general? No.
Who else is a raid supposed to bully, Magnum?
I know, but still, I mean, it could be a high god coming out or something. You know, it could have just been a raid. And then we have our gun cannon in its natural habitat, and about to fire with its hubers. Oh no! What is this? Oh no! The horror! And he just yeets out of the water and like kills him, and then just yeets back in. And it's just like surprise.
Surprise is there, but the suit should have launched out of the ground like a torpedo, and Wave Rider crashed the support
breach. Like if you boost up towards the surface, you should just like yeet.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I'm talking here. Can you just essentially do that? I'm hoping that's what it is at the end, because they're at port base. Those pipes are covered by a little bit of water, so can you just go like, whoop, and I'm up on the pipes and now I'm going? And if that's the case, cool, because then you can get around. You got a nice benefit of getting around that map entirely as a like aquatic suit. So the Agu guy, the Ak guy, and stuff. Anything that's going to be aquatic like that, the Ak guy is super scary now on port base because nowhere around that is safe. And if you wanted to get from sea to the support that's standing on the building, you're just like yeet, yeet, doffing out, and you're on the building. You're like, oh, I'm an Ak guy, and it's like, no, please help.
Yeah, just
yeah. I mean, you should definitely be able to do that.
Boost backwards into the water, like, come get me.
Come on, generals, get down here. Let's go. Like that would be cool. And the thing is, like being able to yeet out and do that kind of stuff, awesome. And if they buff the aquatic suits, cool.
The cool thing is that a general port base definitely feels like the map that's gonna showcase this the most and the best if they do it right.
And whatever this new map is, but we don't know the layout and a few things like that. So like, there's
It might
potential for
change
two things.
Map anyway.
Yeah. So
And in chat, Kanaja was saying too that maybe even having it as a transformation effect when you're under the water would be fine for him. And I mean, just any way to implement it would be nice.
Yeah, then you're pretty much just a
Maybe
flight type
thrust.
underwater, even like if they want to do it like that, or
you just goes like horizontal, and you're just like super at guy.
yeah, you're just like
you're pretty much just like a submarine.
Yeah, and you can pretty much do it like a
jump out like you're doing a normal boost.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Or even like the Goof flight type or something. You just kind of act like that while you're in the water, and then when you leave out of the water, it just exits that mode.
Like they have the flight movement, from that. It's essentially just you moving in space, so they can totally do it for the water. They just had to do it specifically for those suits.
Well, and probably what they'll do, because there's a water level, what they'll probably do is any suit that has a skill, they'll probably make a skill for it. And what they'll probably do is just when you hit that level in a map, then it turns on and off. The skill will probably what will happen. If
Hit
they do
the
it
face
like that, if they want to do it auto.
Or whatever, yeah.
But I mean that's normally how
I hope that's how they go. Because if not, then it's just gonna be you like being able to attack while boosting sometimes, and you're just gonna be moving around normally in water, and that's kind of lousy.
Cool. Anything else on the water stuff and things?
Fingers crossed that it was just test footage. Let me get a better look at it closer to its September date. Whatever time of the month that it drops.
Okay. Moving on real quick to the rarity and stars. So I'm gonna go over that. Okay. I'm just gonna say stars and power.
Yeah.
I actually don't know what you're talking about. The stars and power. What are we looking at?
The other subject that we were talking about.
Yeah. What you were wanting to bring up.
Oh. Okay.
Emblem rant time.
Oh no. I mean, I if anything, I guess I just want to see what you guys think. Like, the obvious answer I feel like is the fact that there is the lore has such a big impact on how a suit performs, but I don't know. It's just like, how do they based on that criteria? Like, how do they decide which suits are 3-star and which suits are 2-star? Just like using the Dreissen as an example. This thing's a 2-star, and it has more of a kit than like the Mark III, or maybe using like a lower cost or even a lower rarity suit. The Rick Diaz 2 has an amazing kit, and it's a 1-star suit. Granted, I mean, in that case, it's lower cost.
Yeah, they make exceptions for extra levels that they give high end suits just because they want people to be.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's a 1-star at base level 2, or at level 1. So I mean, in that regard, because I know what you're talking about. Like, as these are higher levels, they'll downgrade it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll upgrade it, which is weird too. I found that out when I was trying to spin my tickets. I was like,
I wish they do that retroactively with the Night Seeker at this point. Like, that's ridiculous.
For real.
You know what though? Like, that was one of those things that we just had to scratch our head at and then kind of like ignore. That might have set a precedence for some of the other weird choices, because it's like, we didn't really react hard enough to it because it was so early in the game. So it's like, whatever, I guess. But now it's starting to become more noticeable, especially as we go up higher in cost. Like the Dreissen being 2-star is still really like strange.
I guess, I mean, this point, because I was gonna say it just feels arbitrary whether they do it or not, but I guess how it plays in the overall story is a good point. What Dragoon said. I mean, technically,
Yeah.
Dreissen was a grunt suit.
Yep. A grunt suit that had to be made in order to deal with crazy bullshit around it.
But
Which is kind of weird because if they're basing rarity off of the flavor of the suit, why is there a difference in acquisition rates? I mean, I know, like, we talk about how 2 stars are harder to get because the pool's bigger.
The video game,
right?
Lore.
I don't know. It's just like I like Gundam. You may not have ever have guessed, but at the same time, like I have video game expectations of the game I'm playing, and I don't give a flying fuck if the Hyzak can only support one. I mean, they do a good job of this because you can use beam weapons and beam rifle or whatever. But I don't care if you can only use one beam weapon on a Hyzak. Give it both its beam weapons, or the Mark II doesn't normally have Vulcans. Who cares? Give it a Vulcan pod. Like, yo, Super Gundam, let me borrow that. Boop.
Especially in here's the thing too, right? We're talking about, if you want to go about lore, then there's in-game lore too. This is like after the fact of all this stuff. This is a bunch of dudes who had their own hangar that dick around with these suits all the time. This is all refurbished shit. So why would it have to be stock to spec?
That's another point.
Right. And I agree with you there. And I mean, using that same logic, most GM weapons can I'm pretty sure most, if not every Federation mobile suit can use almost every Federation weapon.
Yeah,
isn't the point of the GM?
Exactly.
If we ever get to Unicorn, where there's that thing that they're talking about, it's a good thing the Gundam can use all these weapons. They bring up the point that all these suits tend to have universal inputs now because who they're with and all this other stuff doesn't matter anymore. Suits can just kind of swap out whatever they want as long as they're not museum pieces. So if they ever point and they still can't do it, then it's not about the lore anymore. They just have really weird ideas about what they want to do with their video game that people just will probably never wrap their heads around fully.
Yep.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, I find it incredibly frustrating whenever a suit comes out and it's missing something that you would expect from a normal suit at its cost, and the response I get is, well, it didn't have that in lore. Who cares? I'm playing a video game here. I want my suits to be balanced.
If you want to be like that too, then I guess. And here's the other thing, right? Whenever you say stuff like that, it's well, you got verses over there, bud. Have fun. Right, because they have Gundam B parts can't switch its shit on the drop of a dime either, and yet here it is transforming like a fucking mutant in the middle of a match.
Well, and then the again, if we're talking about weapons too, every ballistic weapon should be able to be used by every suit, period, because that's how they were designed. Because they have hands.
Also, there's also really semantic ass shit. Someone in my chat's not to mention, everyone would complain if you get cut in half by a beam saber in one shot and stuff like that. Well, this isn't
realism.
This isn't Bushido blade levels of realism.
For real,
you don't get booped by a blade and just fall on your ass. They've definitely tempered things a little bit, and again, that's video gaming shit. So for as much as they're lower for certain things, it's obvious that they're still trying to at least balance this as a video game.
Yeah.
Right. And I will say, on pretty much what Gustav's saying, and on the same side, I understand that most of the suits should be able to use all these weapons. And I'm not expecting them to make them available to every suit, because then everyone will be running shotguns or whatever. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just why using the Mark III as an example, which full disclosure, for as hard of a time I give it, I love this suit. I think it's super fun, and I still stand by the fact that I think it's one of the more balanced generals in the game.
It is in a
But,
game that's very balanced. Like that whole
yeah,
being from a Bizarro dimension is very
for real.
Yeah.
It's just like, why does it only have 2 weapons? And why doesn't it have its beam saber shield attack, you know, for just pulling out of its in lore roster? Like, it's because they wanted to be a shooty suit, but they didn't give it Vulcans. I mean, how come it doesn't have a third shooting option as a evolved version of the Mark III, and you know, all this other stuff?
you know, and then like in lore, like if we're talking about the lore for this game, like they should all be custom suits, right? Like they should have the maximum potential of that
Yeah.
suit because of hindsight.
Yeah, that's another again back. Yeah, I mean there shouldn't be any reason that they couldn't just add the Vulcan pod, right?
Right.
Vulcan pod, or at least the regular head Vulcans, because the head that it uses on other suits still can use Vulcans.
Or I mean, like, I feel like I remember seeing I feel like it was like Aoshi or somebody like in the past, like a super long time ago, like probably like last year, posted something that was like making fun of the bad animation and like one of the Gundam series, and the suit was shooting Vulcans, but they weren't coming out of its fucking head.
Yeah.
It was like off to the side or something.
We were
Like, just
talking about the semantics of the opening scene for the Mark II, where like
yeah, just let it do that. Mm-hmm.
And like I think we actually concluded that it actually was coming out of like only one side or some shit like that. But still, animation errors like that happen all the time.
Well, it's like
Like,
another one.
it's an animation
Like
error.
fucking goofs with like MGs or like looking suspiciously like blue Zaku's even more than they already do. All kinds of shit like that. A suit being thrown at an assassin and spontaneously exploding, stuff like that.
I can't remember which one it was, but the Jaeger in like the show actually has like machine gun for its arm thing, and you know it's supposed to be beam, but
You know
the
what'd be
animation
funny,
and
and
the
I still
sound.
want them to do it, is the beam Naginatas on Gelgugs used to transfer from like beams to solid blades all the time between that and like in the movie version of the old Gundam stuff. And like that was really funny. There's a lot of weird errors like that.
Like I can't remember which one it is though, but it's like either it was a machine gun and it had a machine gun sound, or it like shot a beam but it used a machine gun sound.
Yeah.
One of those. It was one of those kind of things, and it was just like, yeah, they don't know what's going on in their own series half the time.
I think that's why some of them in the wiki are just like beam machine gun. That's a beam. Okay. It's using the same hot streaks for their ammo that they always have, but all right, I'll take for that one.
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
that too.
that's just like how the machine gun ammo type on the heavy arms like varies depending on like what you're looking at, what episode you're on, and who you're watching. You know, like
Yeah.
it depending on what you look at, and in games it calls it a beam Gatling gun, but like, you know, it depending on how you want to look at it, it's fire. Whenever it fires, it lets out full metal jackets. You know.
Yeah.
Also, I could argue that this is like super sci-fi space logic, and they fired their beams out of casings or whatever. So like, it would still stand. But you know,
each one of them is charged with Minovsky fire. You know how expensive those
caps are real. Those bullets would be.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's why Troy never has ammo, because he has to fire an entire cache.
Oh gosh.
Or that beam SMG that Catcher uses on the Kai.
I love
And
that sound effect.
Shred things.
Yeah.
Good.
Sexy sound effect. Let's go.
Feels so good.
But yeah. So I guess back kind of toward the main point.
I feel like that you need to like watch a bunch of Warthog videos then. I think that's what it's called. I always forget. It's essentially just a DACA plane of death. It has like a really big, just like Gatling on the front of it.
Oh yeah.
Or not even Gatling, just like a minigun emplacement on it. Maximum.
Yeah, any of those miniguns or yes. But yeah, as far as the stars and what power the suit has and why, world may never know.
It'll forever be a
I mean,
mystery.
somebody, the game is balanced to somebody.
The interesting thing is that like before we started this, they actually had a community stream for our universe in English, and like I feel like between that, the concert, and some of the other stuff they've done on the Square Enix thing, they definitely have their shit covered for what's essentially a mobile game that really didn't need. But I wish we would have that more with a community manager that was actually specifically focused not just on Gundam, but on this game in particular. And like we
Right.
could actually
That'd
have
be
these
nice.
kind of discussions and get like more definitive answers, even if they had to like, ask them first to the main team in Japan.
Hmm. Yeah, because the community management for Gundam over here is definitely focused on Gunpla, Gundam Warfare.
Because they're based out of that blue whatever group that just handles all shit.
Yeah.
Which, full disclosure, we aren't knocking any of the people who work for Bandai Namco and have to promote the game.
It's just not enough for this.
Yeah.
Cool that you guys still cover it for the Gunpla and all that, because obviously those things get churned out like a billion times in like what, a month, let alone anything else. They're always got new kits, and it's good that they're still hot on that. But like for the games, it just needs a little bit more.
Please
I feel.
give us more, please.
But yeah, the thing is, like, they're just some suits that are where among its peers, they seem underkitted, and there doesn't really seem to be a good reason why. Or like I said, I like the Zeta Plus in the same regard. If the Zeta Plus lived in a world where all the suits were like the Mark III, I think it would be fine. It has a main stun, a secondary that's not crazy, but is good for follow up probably or something. And the like a rage was that
one dodge roll.
Yeah, one dodge roll, which but it has all the defense and shield, Magnum. It doesn't need another dodge roll. But
I mean, I'm again,
like I just
again
balance
balance though.
Trying to get my ass, and I was in a barrage, and I was actually able to play keep away with it pretty effectively just now.
Oof.
Because I was constantly getting singled out. And Chad's in chat, and he's like, "This is staged, right? That Bullen lol." So yeah.
Did the Bullen ever fire missiles at you?
No, it didn't bother. It tried to get in with the beams. It maybe shot one or two while it was charging, but it didn't really make a difference because I could do it right back.
Yeah, you should have hit your two missiles.
And then like constantly able to counter him and all this other shit. It's just like, I don't know.
I think he's a paid actor. I don't know.
There's a paid actor in there. I mean, we also had a Jar on our team that pretty much blew him out of the water, but
now
he got to do like everything else about his suit worked, right? He was low key. He kept trying to single me out, and he was getting those moments, but there was just too much runway between him and me whenever I would hit him, and he just wasn't able to close that distance fast enough to get on me. So,
but yeah, like, a 3-star?
No, it's a 2-star.
Okay.
See,
if you said 3, I would have been like, that's weird. Kind of 2. But that one kind of makes sense. Again, it just feels very arbitrary sometimes, though. I feel like they gotta like, well, we have to have more 2-stars than 3-stars, but we need a 3-star and we need to hype it up because it's a 3-star. Okay, throw it in there. Like
it's just weird. I feel like people were excited about the Bullen. At least I don't know. I think the Bullen a cool mobile suit. But like the DS has all the skills that the Bullen should have.
Yeah.
Well, here's another example.
I feel like it's easy to forget how much that rocked that cost, though, right? Like people were raging about that suit for a long time before we just accepted it being the norm. And then we got bullshit like the Aga guy and all this other stuff at those cost ranges that just like took the sting away a little bit, enough for people to not bitch as loudly as they did before.
Is the full armor ground 2-star, I believe? Like that
Actually,
one
I
has enough like damage and stuff, and for a support general type.
You said the ground type?
Yeah, the full armor ground.
Uh,
Like I could see it. Like with how good that suit is, I could see it being a 3-star. But I'm pretty sure. Like
yeah, it's a 2-star ground.
yeah, which is weird because again, it feels like it could be a 3-star with what it has. I mean, obviously it doesn't have dodge rolls and stuff like that, but again, it's kind of like a supporty style that's just blue. So that's kind of odd. I think the Type B is a 3-star, but yeah,
Oh, I actually don't have that on Jenny. I can't look.
I feel like pretty sure it's a
Um,
3-star. But I mean, the point is though, is the normal one's a 3-star, so I feel like the Type B had to be a 3-star.
hmm.
And
I think it is. It
'cause
probably
it's
is.
pretty much just a better version of that. So it's one of those situations where I feel like they
It's a 3-star.
they kind of have to make it a certain star just because of how the suit plays compared to another one.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a situation where like I don't think it's too big of a deal for the suit to be a little bit better because it's a base cost higher. But it's just like
but I mean the star though is also I mean what I'm saying though is just why is it 3-star compared to some suits that are definitely better where they're at that could be 3-stars but they're 2-stars instead.
right.
Like
Yeah, I
or
feel
even
you because I was about to
1-stars.
add that too. But just like, but why do they have examples like this and then they have other stuff? Like, if anything, why does the DS have these skills that a suit that's like 200 cost higher? Excuse me, that's like 200 cost higher and 150 whatever, and it lacks it. Like, how does the Bolinoak live in a world of Mark IIs and they think it's okay for it not to have some kind of way to defend itself when it's attacking?
I really
where
want to know. Good.
Oh, that was it. Go ahead.
I really want to know how many people are actually sitting down figuring out what we're talking about right now. Is it just like one dude that's like, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna 3-stars. Okay, there we go. We put in a number. It's there. I'm done.
Spin up wheel. There it is.
There we go. Okay. This 2-star. Okay, cool. Like I wonder how many people. Is it just one dude? Is it 2, 3? Like how
I
many
feel
people
like
have different
those guys
inputs for
seem
which
like
part?
they have enough dialogue even when they do their live events that it's probably at least a few of them talking about it.
Probably.
As opposed to anything else they need to focus on in the suits, I bet it's not like out there too much. But there's also the idea of like, what suits do they want people to get pretty easy? What do the gacha pool tables look like at the time? Because 2-star is really saturated. It makes it really hard to get some of those suits sometimes as a
Yep.
even higher up. Then that's another thing, and I feel like that's kind of where some of this talk comes from too. Because then you're talking about scarcity and how easy it is to suit for like the effectiveness that it has too, or like maybe just the hype behind the suit itself and how badly people want it.
Let me ask you this, because I just thought about this after thinking about a comment that was in a director's letter, and I want to see what you guys think about this. What do you think the highest rating is in the BB Studio staff?
Oh, probably like
Because Kobe Kambe, he literally said he's never even made it to A+.
yeah. I mean, I would assume most of them have been to A.
Wait, I
And
thought
we already
didn't he?
depending on
Isn't
what
he
they
A
wrote.
though? Isn't he A?
Is he A?
I thought he was celebrating that he made it to like A or
Yeah, like,
finally made it to A
to go,
plus.
yay.
When
Not
did
A.
it?
I don't.
Like
I don't know if you see too many A players, but it's pretty low common denominator down there.
Too busy playing. They probably just do a lot of build plays too. Like I doubt they play online that much. Which says its own message if that's actually true. But
Because I just wonder if because like they have those streams every now and then, and they used to like have the event to talk to the players. But do you just think there might be a disconnect between like what the actual meta in the game is? I would think they would like be able to see, but I don't know how like detailed that data is. Like, do you think there's just a chance that
there might be.
like oh well, this works for the games that we've played or whatever. Like, I don't know. Maybe I should be watching the streams.
I kind of, you know what, and this is something that I know not a lot of groups do anyway, but like certain people within those groups having their own streams or like showing them doing like community matches and stuff. It'd be interesting to see more of that and like how they play and what they prioritize when they're not just playing amongst each other in like specific builds for the game itself.
Yeah, because I mean, even after some of the buff decisions, makes me question if they've even played that mobile suit. Like
a lot of it's also like, and we've railed on it too before, right? Just them using hard data.
Yeah, the Gunner Gundam. Why did they nerf that?
Gunner Gundam, dude, it's still super marginalized right now.
Like, see, that's another thing that could really skew it. Where a lot of like, again, those numbers that we were looking at, like, if they just go off of that, well, I mean, there was a lot of people who came back that have never played the suits. Oh, hey, these got buffed. Cool, let me try them.
Mm.
You know,
and I think that's why we saw some of those win rates go down on some of those suits too. Like we were talking about that in some of the other ones. Oh, I wonder what the MG on the Akazaki is like now. Oh, no. Or like if we're probably going to see a decrease in the win rate with people trying out the Bolinoak again, which is unfortunate.
I kind of wonder because I don't really know much about this. I never really played many games like this before Battle Operation. But Magnum, you may be able to answer this a little bit better than me since you played League. But like, did League ever like explain how they're? Because like, did League ever explain how like changes they make to heroes factors into like what the current meta is at all? Because I mean, I feel like Battle Operation doesn't do that. It's always about the stats of what they've seen in the game, which doesn't really always equate to like, you know, good balance decisions. Like, what did they do and what did they do with Riot?
Well, I mean, depending on, I mean, just all MOBA games pretty much. They once they get enough roster, you know, and there's also draft pick, right? Draft pick is the main thing.
Right.
So you're banning like certain champions and stuff. So there's always kind of like some shift where they buff this or nerf that because
Draft
of the
pick
metas.
or the free suits that the free heroes that they offer during their rotations and all that too.
Well, I mean, they don't really like the free stuff is just kind of random or whatever. For the most
Is it
part.
like super randomized or is that actually
I mean,
based on something?
the only ones that I think I don't. Well, I mean, you have one of each role pretty much in most games. But the thing is, they normally what most MOBAs will do is they'll have one of each role, and maybe after a little bit throw out the newest like champion hero or whatever to let you try it in their free rotation. Then if you had a pay model to actually buy it, then oh cool, well this is pretty cool now that it's been out for the people who already have paid for it or have already had stuff saved up, they can go ahead and play it for 2 weeks and then people can try for free like 2 weeks later or whatever. But and as far as the competitive thing, unless you own it, typically you couldn't play it in like ranked. But as far as balancing goes, now with the big enough roster, like League, after a while, they just started balancing around metas. So here comes the assassin meta, here comes the tank meta, and then there's items that they balance back and forth. So an item can change the meta all around. It'd be like if suddenly our reload part.
That is true too, because like items are per round. It's not something that you just have in the loadout and then that's it.
Yeah, so items would be rebalanced. So that's another big deal. A game that would be more.
They changed early on just with the part slottage. I don't know if they changed any of the base values for our stuff though.
That's what I wanted to talk about, but we're kind of pushing time already. So
yeah, we're almost
I do want to
at
talk about parts, but just on a side note, I really have to say now that I'll just say it like this, and we'll bring it up later again. But with the part slots that we're getting on these 650 suits now.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty awesome. Like Zeta Plus, again, I'm using this as an example because it's really the one that I have that I can most with. But the Zeta Plus, I have my 50 beam 50 melee build. I have my there's probably an MLRS on the enemy team, so I have a lot of ballistic resist build and not as much melee. And then I have my full ham let's go damage boost go build. And I've actually got 3 builds, and I switch between them when I want to.
So here's the thing. and this is something I guess I still want to know. Like, now that we have more flexible builds at high cost, um, what do you think about them changing some of the values again to make that more viable at low
At low
cost?
cost, exactly. I wish this was at low cost now. I'm like, I've
Yeah.
always been like, I feel like the parts is just missing something. I feel like the part, and the build diversity. And now they're actually at high cost. There is build diversity because I have these big, drastic changing parts that I can fit multiple of instead of just one. And okay, there we go. There goes my 15 slots.
Right.
And this is awesome. Like, this is amazing. I don't have the Cubula yet or the Double Zeta or whatever, but I really want those now to be like, what can I do with parts now in these? And it's just amazing. But anyway, I definitely want to talk about more in detail on what we think they could do to change and a few things like that later. So more to the question though. So back to the, but that's how they balance in most MOBAs. Like, they'll either have items or, as far as just the straight champions themselves though, these would be the suits. Like, sometimes it's win rate. You know, if the win rate's too high, or if it, like, for instance, a very old one. Let's go way back in the league. For instance, Lee Sin. He came out. He was like,
Hmm.
he's too hard. Win rate was down. We're like, okay, let's buff him.
Hmm.
Let's buff him. Let's buff him. Let's buff him. Then somebody got good. Okay, this guy's super overpowered. Somebody decided to get good with him. Oh my.
Yeah. They
Oh,
got good, started telling people
and
how, and they're like, oh shit, like a
so,
light
like,
bulb just goes off.
and it went from where he started to like the 4 buffs, and then they nerfed him farther down below from where he started, and he was still overpowered. Like,
Mhm.
that's and it kind of pretty much,
You know what that sounds
a
like? And
lot of
it's
that
kind
is
of
win rate.
interesting is that, like, it was just retroactively people didn't know what to do, and at his core, he was
For sure.
actually viable.
Oh yeah,
And then when
exactly.
people figured it out, it's just like, we didn't need any of this. Fuck.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and chat was saying too when I asked that question to you, Magnum, that they also do balancing a lot of balancing after tournaments and stuff too.
Yep.
Which in that regard, I was saying like, well, that doesn't seem like it's relevant to the majority of players, because if you're balancing based off of people of high skill level, it like pretty much what exactly. Well, I was thinking exactly what Gustav said is like, you know, the stuff's probably at its core good, but the more you make it more accessible to the public, the better the higher playable players are just going to be able to crush with it, right?
And that's what we've seen with all those other buffs that have, like, become irrelevant over time, right? You see slutty G3 or anything like that every once in a while. And that, it kind of speaks to the fact that this game doesn't really have a competitive scene. Like, I think that is
Right.
important. And for a lot of games, especially fighting games and MOBAs, the entire point for a lot of people is playing it so that they can get that good. Even if they never get there, that's the objective. So they want those changes based off it, even if they'll never really see it reflected in their own gameplay. Because there's gonna be people that do make it, and they're gonna be the generation of people who do the competitive stuff for those.
And I mean, there's always going to be, like, for MOBA specifically, there's always going to be those pub stomping champs, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, that's that, so, like, even though it's like, oh well,
The bales mobile.
yeah, there we go, exactly. So it's like, why? They're not even good. What are you talking about? And it's like, what do you mean? They're just wrecking everybody. But it's like they're
Well,
wrecking the
that's
majority.
the thing, right? Like, when some people say they're not even good, they're thinking, first of all, they're already good, right? So for them, it's like, the suit isn't technical. You can just kind of zombie mode and do good shit with this. So for them, it's garbage. It's not
Yeah.
fun to play. But for us, it's just like, it's fucking tearing my asshole open every match, dude. What do you mean?
But, like, coming from a lot of the MOBA stuff, that's always been a argument. Should you balance for the majority, or should you balance for the
Sweat
1%?
lords.
And, like, there's all like,
I guess it depends on who feels the economy, right? Who actually is more dedicated and, like, keeps the game alive.
and that's where it normally comes down to, is like, oh well, we're making a ton of money off of running these tournaments, so we're going to keep that balance so people stay interested. And then,
Like, they have an actual, like, economy beyond the game, and that's
Yeah.
something that this game doesn't have at its back, which is a little scary just for its crazy that it's been 2 years. Like, you really can't undersell that when it comes to games.
well, they were having a decent amount of live events and stuff in Japan, of course, but the they were having a decent amount, and then all this happened, so now they've really not been having those events, and it's like, okay, well,
And that's hit the
where would it
arcade
be
scene
now?
too. Like some of that shit's starting to close up, and it's just like, oof. That's
That's
gonna
big
affect
oof.
versus and the way that that's viewed going forward too. Like it was supposed to be a big deal that had LAN option for their matches, and
Yep.
now that's irrelevant.
So
You
that'll
know,
be interesting to
that's
see.
something that we can't even begin to think about this game, and that's kind of fucked up.
But yeah. Anyway, I was just looking there. You guys want to do some suit speculation and wrap things up with some shoutouts?
I just want to add one more thing to the last thing. Is like it doesn't have to be us, it doesn't have to be me, but they should. I think they should definitely talk to some players and
Yes.
try to figure
But
out what
if
the
it
meta
is
actually is in their
If it
game.
is us, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I mean, it could totally be us,
But it
but
don't gotta.
yeah, it doesn't have to be. But yo, Bamco, what's up, dude? You remember that one time I said, "Screw these guys. I love Dragon Ball Z, and I love not dot hack
Not
Sword Art Online and all that good jazz." Like it could totally be me. I'll help you. I'll help you out some. You guys will
Remember
talk.
that one time he played Code Vein on stream?
Yeah, anime titty. I mean,
I mean,
plot. Yes, I'd love
titty
Captain
holes.
Tsubasa and
Yeah.
One Punch
Yeah,
Man.
you were definitely playing Fa.
I still
Yeah.
play Fighter Z every day, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go.
When's Goku coming out again?
Yeah, Cotton Candy Goku is my
I
fave.
got my Gunpla
No.
Warfare right here, guys. Let's go.
Yeah.
I can help out with those community streams, no problem. Totally.
Yeah, for real. Man's over here like Bone Crusher on Sophia. It's like, yes, Trans Am Raid.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
Bone Crusher? Who uses
Speaking
Bone
of-
Crusher? What are you
just-
talking
sorry,
about?
We're
about
gonna
Rock
entertain
Breaker?
you, but I heard that they have a like in the last episode of Re-Rise, they had like a Gunpla from Gunpla Warfare that won a contest,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
put
that
its
was perfect.
Gunpla into the show.
Really? That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. That is pretty cool.
Okay, that's cool.
It's kind of like when you play Kingdom Hearts 3 for the first time and you're just like, what is all these keys? Why are there a bunch of names scrolling? Oh my god, fucking mobile game. They did a contest and had people go into an event to get their as like a secondary, but like first primary run of credits.
But,
Oh my lord.
But yeah, so new suit
Speculation.
Yeah, I keep doing it. I keep saying it. Speculation.
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 Wanna Malone.
Words.
Anonymous.
Words. Suit words.
Gestapadopoulos. Pizza
There
pie.
you go. Goonie Goo Goo.
No. Too much. People who get it like hot, and then the other people are gonna be like, "That's wasted." And I'm gonna have to be like, "Well, just put our hands up and walk into the light."
Wait, would that be? Maybe I don't know. I don't know enough about the context of that phrase. Maybe I
That's
should
actually
watch
from,
what I'm
like,
saying
an
on
old
it.
comedy bit.
Yeah, it's from what?
An old comedy bit. Eddie Murphy talking about getting a chick from like Africa, some goody goo goo bitch.
Oh, okay. That's definitely one of those things where like I haven't seen that stand up
from like the 80s. So
Gotcha. Okay. Like that's just a phrase that I've heard just in
Can't believe
passing,
it
but I don't think I've ever seen it.
And I forget if that's Delirious or if that's the one from after that. But I just
Okay.
wanted to, I thought you knew, and that's why I was like, man, he's busting out the old shit. Let's go. Like, damn.
Like, is that the one where he wears the red jacket? Is that
There's
am I
the-
thinking of the wrong one?
I think that's Delirious. And then the other one that I'm
Yeah.
thinking is where he was wearing a purple one.
I don't know. I've seen one of them. Maybe I did watch it. I just don't remember. But it's definitely one of those things where you just like you say it without thinking about it, and you don't remember where you heard it from.
Like,
So,
I think it's
that's
funny.
dangerous.
Me and my cousin used to watch that all the time, but like, yeah, it's a little different now.
But like the new suit and words. I'm man. I just
I don't know anymore. I really wasn't expecting the Dreissen.
yeah.
I'll be honest.
Okay, so how about this then? Um,
I really hope it's an aquatic suit. Just because like originally my dumbass this month, and then when someone was like, "Well, actually, it's on the bottom," and they said it's just a preview. So I'm hoping that like I want them to work more on those aquatic maps, right? Especially if it's gonna be the same as the stuff that we saw in that trailer and the stuff that we talked about today. But I do want them to throw out some more amphibious suits ahead of time. So the Kapul for me is still the pick.
ooh, yeah.
Yeah. I would like them to plan in advance for once. I agree.
Like for fuck's sake,
I'm gonna
just
say Kapul
make it
2 weeks from now.
I'm gonna say Dio.
Theo next week.
Dio. Dio
Yeah.
feels like something they try to get out of the way too.
I could do
It's
with
such
that.
a
Like,
big deal.
We're at the 2-week mark where they like test the waters with like notice like, oh, we're done, the anniversary's over, and then like you,
It's like,
and then you
that
have
shit,
last year.
really?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the MLRS comes out, and
Okay.
like next week is our MLRS week, and
Oh,
it's
God.
gonna be like.
BO as a support, man. Shit.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we had a raid, so like it
Yeah.
could be. I mean, I didn't mean it as a support. I just meant like as
But,
a
like,
big suit.
like just from the other patterns that we've had so far, it's very.
Mhm. But like I could see the support. I could see a support coming out for the upcoming week. Do I know what it is right now? No, it's hard to say.
Okay, if I had to guess, next week I want to see either a raid or a support, and it's gonna either be the O raid or Palace Athene support.
Y'all are too thirsty for the Zaku 3. I'm never gonna say that's Y'all want it too much.
Ooh, or maybe the,
Someone in my fucking chat over here. Feel the Zaku 3 could be soon. It's like, yeah, that in the last like month or so. All
Yeah, I
y'all
thought
motherfuckers
the
been
Zaku
seeing
3
Zaku 3. I don't want
first.
to hear it no more. I'm done.
Yeah, at this point, they'll just throw it out whenever they want. If it wasn't
Yeah.
their universe.
pretty much. But yeah, I'm going with the O or Palace Athene.
No Berserk.
For
Palace
support
Athene
or
would
raid.
be cool.
What do you guys think? And those are my two picks. Because I'm not picking a general. They just gave us another general.
You guys got too many.
Yeah, I already locked in my raid pick. So
Kapula's
as far
raid
as
would be
supports-
interesting.
that'd be so cool. They need to give it that freaking mace.
You know what though? Like
thing.
if they do give it an amphibious suit during the map launch, it'll probably be a general.
No.
They'll probably try to round it out.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, Veronk got me. If we're gonna get a high powered support, I'll say mass produced Cubile.
Yes,
That'd be cool.
yes.
Now watch that be a raid.
Calm down, Piccolo.
If I get that, I can do this.
though?
I can win. I can do
just-
this.
Because the
Magnum
method
just
of
uses
mass
nail over
production
there.
uses those like beam claws or like holds a bunch of sabers in its fingers, they probably are gonna make that a raid. I wouldn't be surprised.
Which one?
The mass production one or like Pru 2's version where she has like those beam thingies essentially.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
Mark II is definitely gonna be
The Mark
raid.
II could definitely be the raid. I want them to bring that out just to give it that kind of flavor. Like that'd be cool.
Yeah, I want a full team of just Q relays. Let's go. All Q relay team.
But yeah,
Raid
the
general.
mass production could totally be the support. And they should put that at least at 600.
Yeah, 600, 650. You know, you don't have
Watch
to
them
give us a
lowball it.
650.
Watch them lowball it.
They lowball it.
Watch them lowball it at like 500 or 550 or some bullshit.
I see them lowball.
Things are going to go down.
We'll have a problem.
Heads shout. Bitch, you ain't doing nothing.
I'm gonna cry. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, man, you should always prepare to be disappointed.
I'm already. I didn't get the Cubile. 281 total tokens. No Cubile, man.
Tyler, as your lane ship girl pro team in GBO2 won. Oh god.
Oh no. But anyway,
You know
I'm
what?
down
yeah.
for crossovers.
Real talk, I do want them to do a crossover like that. Doesn't have to be Azure Lane. Azure Lane be literally anything. Like even World of Tanks has done stuff with Girl and Panzer. They've done a bunch of shit in War Thunder. Games similar to this have rocked those kind of crossovers. We can do it too, and it doesn't have to be Gundam related all the time.
But Gustav, you'll taint my universal century purity.
And I feel that sometimes too, but at the same time, you can still do it.
I mean,
It's still legit.
I agree.
Operators and stuff at least or something. Come on.
For sure, right? Like we already got one from Extreme, which is really obnoxious and goofy. Like
I know what you're talking about. Don't worry, we'll get Dahlia as the next navigator.
I still think we should get him on.
I 1000% agree.
Yes.
Like 1 billion million infinity percent agree we should get him on.
Please get us please let us get Amro or Sharp before like their time comes. Like, jeez.
Yes, absolutely.
We're not getting any younger. It needs to be done.
But yeah, Gustav, what are your 2 picks for raid and support?
Kibule Mark II for raid. Honestly, I want the Kapul. And I wouldn't mind taking that as a raid either.
Okay.
Support's a little mass production if it's gonna be that would be neat. God, I have such a hard time thinking of like supports that would actually like be survivable. And I think that's why I wouldn't mind the O. Just let it be the bully, right? Like have like the immovability of the zombie, but actually being able to like clap back. Because it's gonna be huge.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be a big ass suit. If they actually put it in there.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if it's gonna actually hit.
Right.
It is huge. But yeah.
I want them to give it a shot. Like an honest shot. Like that'd be cool.
But anyway. We got
more
nothing
crossovers.
Else. Yeah, more crossovers.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we want to do some shout outs though, go ahead and move on into that. Because really who knows?
That was me shouting out, but
well, that was
hold on.
Ah!
Oh, that's what that was a big honk.
That was a GamingEmblem version.
Okay,
say.
So what do you got going on?
The same shit. I'm over here at Gustav_X. 3 eyes, not 2, not 4, just 3. I have a lot of people still calling me Gustav the 8th, and it's but
8th, huh?
Also on Twitter as well as Facebook. Trying to keep out in the social medias. I also have a Discord if you guys want to check that out, as well as our secondary clan and GBO2 GKN. Still recruiting. Still got that bye week, but we got another one coming up next week. If you guys want to try to get up in there. Still doing more Gundam Battle for every day, as well as cross rays as we channel the massive river, or ford the massive river that is fucking Seed right now. So, Lord help me.
Good luck.
Or I should say, Kira Jesus Yamato, help me.
Gustav, we love the piano. How dare you make Nicole walk into your beam saber?
Oh, no.
I mean, at least they didn't show it, right? Like they showed the outside for the frame, and that was it. Because goddamn,
I thought it was funny when you were talking about it, like when you came in. He's like, even Kira was like, "What the fuck?"
Because that's why he let it sit in there. He was just like, oh, "Shit,
did you do?"
Okay, so
childhood trauma, the game.
For real. Yeah, Twitch, GamingEmblem, and stuff. Video games on the internet. I'll shoot. I mean, I gotta get through the rest of A+ first, but I'll make some kind of conscious effort to get the Salt Minus in Battle Operation at some point. So you can watch my descent into madness there at twitch.tv/GamingEmblem if you want, or whatever. I'll play some Crystal Chronicles of Magnum at some point in time. I don't know, man. The closer we get to the end, the more I kind of want to play one match with you. So we'll see what happens. Gosh, don't do that. Make me make bad life decisions. But yeah, keep it up. We've got games on the internet, Battle Op, Fantasy Star Online 2. We'll be dipping into Crystal Chronicles for a little bit, and And if you're really into it, you know, you can always do your dailies on the GamingEmblem channel. We have one right now. I think my chat's gonna turn me to a VTuber, but
Oh no.
touching back from earlier, I found you could do multiple community requests. So I have, like, I did a waifu stream last week, and I added on a community goal to make me do another one. So
If
you might.
If they do it
might
during a week where you can actually like do the podcast, you're gonna have to figure out how to capture that instead of your actual webcam.
Yeah, right. So you might see me like looking something like this during the next stream, you know. And maybe whenever I go ham on a raid, we just like transform and it's just like support. Or I think I said go ham on a raid, but you know.
Oh no.
Yeah, activate my super mode.
Uwu mode has been activated.
Yes. You hit this pad button, and instead of the little girl saying exams, just like ooh woo. Oh gosh.
Oh,
That's genius. So I might do that.
Oh, no.
Anyway, yeah, it's on the internet though. I woke up the next day and I was a cute anime Vohio waifu in the morning.
Tee
Tee.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot the tee part. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
But anyway, as usual, everybody's links will be down in the description below. But I'm EG Magnum. Stream on Twitch, got a Twitter, Discord, YouTube channel, stuff like that. Gotta be doing some Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles right after this with Emblem. Yeah. And
I don't know what you're talking about.
for one level at least, is his starting level. We'll do the starting level again.
You're jonesing. Damn.
But yeah, the by the way though, also by the way, Rock Breaker, not Bone Crusher. Come on. Rock Breaker.
But Bone Crusher's way better.
Wait, what?
No.
Okay, fine. We'll have to talk about this after. We'll have to talk about this after. Okay. So anyway,
teach you how stat productions work in Romancing Saga Magnum. You'll change your tune.
Oh no, I'm a noob.
Okay. Yes, you are a noob.
Anyway, so yeah, gonna be doing Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, more Hades, maybe some Fantasy Star Online 2. I hear some more stuff's in Monster Hunter World, maybe something of that. Anyway, main thing is there's too many games. The main thing is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles up until next week because Marvel's Avengers on either Monday night or Tuesday. I don't know when they're actually releasing it, but if they do a midnight release, then we'll be there for that. If they're doing it actually during the morning or whatever, then whenever I get up Tuesday, we'll probably hit that. Wednesday's the tabletop, 6 p.m. Eastern. That should be live right now on YouTube as well from yesterday's episode. This will be going up tomorrow night. If you didn't catch us live. And then, of course, the podcast every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all that. Leave us a comment down below. What would you like to hear us talk about in the future and what you thought about what we talked about today. But anyway, guys, that'll be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace.
Later.